across the country have been dispatched to the area to aid in response and recovery. Finally, the local officials in Texas, Governor Abbott, Mayor Turner, Judge Emmett, Chief Acevedo, and all the others are doing a tremendous job under considerable strain. What we must do in the federal government is to continue to support them and their teams. I want to also thank the men and women who are putting their lives on the line to help the people of Texas. Their heroism is truly humbling. Homeland Security's own Customs and Border Protection, U.S. Coast Guard, and others are working with the National Guard and local first responders and have saved countless lives. Yesterday, we tragically lost one of these local heroes, Houston Police Sergeant Steve Perez. Our thoughts and prayers go out to his family and to those who have lost loved ones in this terrible storm. While the focus has been understandably on Texas, we are working with the state of Louisiana as the storm moves through their state. To the people in Texas and Louisiana, please continue to listen to your local officials and heed warnings. We expect this storm to continue, and our #1 priority is everyone's safety. We will continue with the life-sustaining, life-saving mission for the next few days, and then move into recovery for the area. And the officials with me here today will tell you more about that. I'll turn it over to the Commandant now to talk about our continuing life-saving missions.
Thank you, Madam Secretary. And we are still very much in the emergency response phase of this historic storm. #1 priority right now is recovering survivors. Over thousands yesterday, but these aren't numbers, these are people. And I just want to, put myself in the shoes of these community members whose lives have really been turned upside down. So we will be there for as long as it takes. Now, as the storm is starting to shift to the east, we will be able to shift our resources to the east as well. So we will be able to stay in front of this. We're getting great support from the National Guard, from the state of Texas, the entire first response community. This has truly been a unified effort, and I can't emphasize enough the great work that our Good Samaritans are doing as well. Back at our Coast Guard headquarters, I now have 32 watchstanders standing watch around the clock because the 911 calls have inundated the call centers down in Texas. We're taking that overflow and we're receiving over 1,000 calls per hour. So we are not out of this by any long stretch yet, and we will be semper paratus as we continue to watch this storm move on, and then as we move into the long road to recovery. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Commandant. You want to switch? So the whole community continues to descend upon Texas. We've amassed quite the federal government support, over 12,000 staff members, and it's going to continue to grow. Not only are we pushing people forward through the DHS surge capacity that Secretary Duke proactively put into place, and also the Commandant's people who are risking their lives to save others as well in conjunction with state and first responders. But we're also calling upon other states through emergency management assistance compacts and contracts where we're asking state support to come down, and so they're continuing to amass in Texas. So the operation right now is very clear. We're still in life-saving, life-sustaining mode. Not only are we performing through our partners at the Coast Guard, we're performing those life safety measures, but the life sustainment mission is huge. It's going to grow. We have over 230 shelters operating in Texas with over 30,000 people, but I don't want to get fixated on numbers because those numbers are going to change in the next 30 minutes. But just to let the people of Texas know that we are supporting the efforts to provide mass care, not only mass care, but also medical care to those who have been displaced. And we understand that this is going to be a frustrating and painful process, but we're trying to do everything we can to alleviate the situation. Overnight, the areas of Beaumont and Port Arthur got slammed with 20 inches of rainfall. So while we're focused a lot of the effort on Houston, we have to also understand that there are multiple counties, over 50 counties impacted right now. We're continuing to watch the situation develop. And citizens in Louisiana are not in the clear. You're still under some evacuation warning orders. Please make sure that you're heeding those warnings from the parish presidents. And we're ready to support Governor John Bell Edwards and his efforts to take care of folks over there in Louisiana. We've also turned on individual assistance, and some of the most important information you're going to hear about today is from our recovery director, Alex Amparo. We're providing essential commodity distribution. What that means is we are already providing points of distribution and disseminating life-sustaining commodities in areas that are not being currently impacted by rainfall. For example, we've been down in Rockport, Port Aransas, where the rain has stopped, but they sustained Category 4 winds and storm surge. We are supporting those folks down there with life-saving commodities. Power restoration is ongoing. We're very concerned about the infrastructure, obviously. Infrastructure is the key to restoring routine to everybody's daily lives. We will try to help private power companies bring the power back on as quickly as we can, but right now, many areas in Texas still aren't out of the clear from the threat as it's ongoing. Security is a concern. We've amassed quite a bit of federal law enforcement out of the Department of Homeland Security, down to our state and local partners again. They're working in conjunction with over 12,000 National Guard members that have been deployed by the National Guard in Texas, as well as, the true first responders at the local level. We're supporting medical support. Secretary Price is highly engaged. We're constantly watching, the hospital situations and being able to, we've evacuated several hospitals, but we're also trying to sustain several hospitals to make sure that they're up and operational, and we're providing a standard of care that everybody deserves. With that, what I would like to do is continue to ask people to find ways to volunteer, when it comes to invoad.org or basically going through the state of Texas's organizations to be able to organize the volunteer effort. The need to volunteer is going to take place over the next couple years, okay? And the need to volunteer is in, let me remind you, 50 counties right now, not just in Houston, but everywhere. So that mission is going to continue to expand. But right now, what I would really like to concentrate on is how we get disaster survivors to start activating assistance for those that qualify. So Alex Amparo, my recovery director, is going to give us some very critical information.
Good morning. So as of this morning, we have over 195,000 registrations of individuals asking for assistance. We've provided over $35 million in financial assistance to those that have registered. And so our message is clear. If you have impact from damage from this disaster and have been impacted, find yourself in your shelter, first contact your insurance company, file your claim, and immediately after that, go to disasterassistance.gov and register for financial assistance from FEMA. What's important to understand is that our assistance is not designed to make you whole, which is why it's important to first register with your insurance company. It's also important that you provide us your location of where you're at during the registration process, because we can provide you immediate assistance. We also have the Transitional Shelter Assistance Program, over 1,700 families last night, and in over 2,000 rooms in 5 different states that we're providing assistance to. So after you register, you'll be assigned an inspector. That inspector will contact you to come out and view your damages. Due to the volume, we are prioritizing inspections based off of the greatest amount of damage, and we will be in contact with you throughout this process. And so, make sure that FEMA assistance can provide some rental assistance. We can also provide some assistance for repair. We can provide assistance for personal property. But it's important that when you register, your address, your current location, how we can contact you, what kind of damage you have sustained, the insurance that you have, and stay in contact with us. Go to disasterassistance.gov. The effort that we're doing through the thousands of employees that are working to provide assistance to those that are in shelters and getting them out of in shelters into a better place, working in partnership with our non-government organizations, as Administrator Long had mentioned, in support of the state of Texas. These organizations like American Red Cross, Salvation Army, the Southern Baptist, they're doing a tremendous amount of work. This is an unprecedented event. We've seen our call volume increase and skyrocket larger than ever before. So has the registrations, and we are in the long haul to provide the assistance to every disaster survivor we can.
Thank you, Alex. Madam Secretary?
Take some questions at this point, if there's any.
Dave Shepherdson from Reuters. Do you have any estimate of how many total homes have been flooded and how many people will need assistance, or how much this might cost?
You know, right now it's a dynamic situation. We don't have an accurate number. I could try to put you a number out there, but I can tell you in 30 minutes it'll be wrong. We try to use the best knowledge, the best mapping capabilities that we have when it comes to understanding the flood zones, the floodplain mapping that we have. But the best indicator of individual assistance is what Alex was just saying. We have nearly 200,000 people already registered. That number is going to climb. We know it. So it's going to continue to project, and we have to be ready to go to support it. Yeah.
Yes.
Looking at some of the decisions the administration made ahead of this disaster with its proposed budget that would, for instance, cut some FEMA grants and some other agency programs that are involved in this effort, or rolling back the last administration's flood risk management standard, understanding that that did not impact the response that we're seeing right now. How is that playing into the administration, perhaps looking at how you prepare for these disasters going forward and reconsidering some of those decisions proposed or made in prior months?
Right now, we're focusing on this specific disaster and ensuring we have the appropriate funding and programs in place. I think that the planning that the communities do has grown over the years, and we're looking at having grant programs that are appropriate to have them continue their planning. But, many of these communities, including Texas, has made extraordinary progress in its planning for disasters. This particular storm was unprecedented in terms of volume of rain, and that's what we're focusing on now. Smith.
Hi, Catherine Carriage, Fox News Channel. What does the temporary shelter look like? Is it going to include trailers? What are the options that you're considering?
So very simply, the goal is to sustain life. So we've already turned on what's called Transitional Shelter Assistance Program, which is basically getting people into hotel motels, getting them out of those shelters. Shelters obviously are not ideal. And unfortunately, people are going to be there for quite some time as we're trying to mobilize people into hotels. How many people have we already moved?
About 1,800.
Around 1,800 people have already been placed in hotel motels. We have to understand the vacancies that are there. We have to make sure that we'll continue, but that number will continue to grow as we do. The next goal is save houses. As the water starts to recede, we got to go in, and this is where the volunteers need to be organized, is helping people muck out their houses, get the wet carpet, get the wet drywall out, make simple repairs to hopefully get people back in their house, at a very baseline level, and sustain them there. And then finally, the FEMA manufactured housings and travel trailers, we pulled the trigger. We have a limited amount. We have to implement what's called the Defense Production Agency to buy this capability, but also it takes time to produce those. Slowly, as a last resort, we start to bring those in, and it's a very sizable mission. So what we have on the ground right now is what we call disaster housing assistance teams, but this is a coordinated effort between not only FEMA, but HUD. It's also going to be SBA, and the most important piece is working with our state and local partners and those counterparts down through to make sure we put together a comprehensive plan and we clearly explain how the system works.
Sir?
Jeffrey Cook from ABC News. The president said yesterday probably there has never been anything so expensive in our country's history. There's never been anything so historic in terms of damage. Is that true, or where does this storm rank among the most expensive?
No, you can't do a point-by-point comparison of each storm. What's unique about this storm is the area of devastation, also the amount of rainfall, which is now measuring in some places over 50 inches, which is more than the annual rainfall, and also how long it has been. So we've been experiencing this rainfall over a long period of time, even though the initial winds have subsided. So the duration, and we expect the floodwaters not to crest for another couple days. So those are some of the unique things that were behind the president's comments yesterday.
Yeah. And I also think it's important to point out that this is going to be an incredibly large disaster for the country. It's going to help us, to reshape some of the ways that we do business. We're going to learn from it and go on. But I think it's very important to recognize that the cost of this disaster, the economic cost to measure the disaster versus our physical cost as the federal government family, we're not going to know a true cost for that for many, many years to come as we work together to understand what the communities are entitled to from public assistance or HUD community development block grants or the reimbursement costs. It takes a lot of time to understand the true cost of this disaster, but it's going to be a huge one. Yeah.
Did you have a follow-up?
Yeah, I did. Are there areas in Houston still, Catherine here at Fox News, that you feel that you don't have good visibility into, and that there are individuals who are trapped and not able to communicate they're in an emergency situation?
You want to talk about communications, please?
So we've been able to use Google heat maps, if you will, and where the concentration of most of these calls are coming from. So even if someone can't communicate, we have 11 fixed-wing airplanes that are doing surveillance as well. So we have a pretty good idea of where the concentration of those who are still in high water. And at the same time, we're monitoring, as you heard from the administrator, the heavy rainfall that occurred in Port Arthur and Beaumont as well. So this isn't like five-year-old soccer, everyone clustered around one point. We're looking across the entire metropolitan area to make sure that we've got resources allocated. And it's very well coordinated with CBP, with Coast Guard, with other first responders, National Guard.
Can you get more specific about the areas where you think there are clusters of individuals who can't get help, and how many areas we're talking about in Houston still?
We're talking square miles, not down to blocks. So we're talking the entire Houston metropolitan area. Others more impacted than others, but we're seeing an awful lot to the west and southwest of the center of Houston proper itself.
Tell us what's been necessary to get the infrastructure back up and running in terms of the rail lines, and how concerned you are about industrial facilities, including this chemical plant in Crosby, Texas, that had to be evacuated.
I'll talk briefly about the chemical plant. They were able to restore electricity. Those refrigerated tank cars should be stabilized. It's about 20 miles to the northeast of Houston itself. From a Coast Guard aspect, we're looking at reopening the ports. Right now, it is too rough for pilots to even embark ships. So we're working with the Army Corps of Engineers, with NOAA, Coast Guard. We'll have the inner harbor of Corpus Christi surveyed today, part of the Intercoastal Waterway. But even when we open a port, what we've seen in the past, it'll take several days before those facility workers can get back to work, when you can fire up those refineries, when pilots can actually safely get to the boats and then continue business as usual. We want to make sure that those ports are open well in advance of before the first worker can show up. So I can at least speak to the maritime. Other infrastructure, perhaps, Administrator, you might want to address that.
I'll talk, yes. So we are in constant contact with all the critical infrastructure sectors in the area. Secretary Perry is leading us from the cabinet on the energy sector. There are two pieces to that we have to keep in mind in recovery. One is getting distribution up, and then second is getting powers to individual residents and homes, and that's going to be challenging. The high level of flooding requires quite a bit of preparation to make sure that it's safe as the electric companies connect their distribution systems to specific points of system delivery. Additionally, we're tracking the refineries and other gas and oil in the area. The very good news is we have seen no environmental issues at this point, because that critical infrastructure did act proactively in shutting down. And so we are looking at getting those up and running to keep oil refinement and production going. But it is still a safety concern, and they will be up as soon as possible.
If I may add too, emergency managers around the country realize that restoring routine is the #1 goal in recovery as well. It's not just keeping up the critical infrastructure, but we also activate what's called business EOCs, or Business Emergency Operations Center. We have one at the national level, and typically all states have them at the state level to understand as well as when the private industry is coming back online. If we can get the roadways open and get the private industry back on to restore some of that routine, as well as the schools, we'll be, the Department of Homeland Security also and FEMA will be working to help figure out how we're going to do school. If schools have been totally damaged and different things, we may have to set up temporary capability. But that's all in the back of our, it's in the front of our mind, actually, on the recovery side, is getting the lights back on, getting the sewer system working, bringing up the private industry. Bringing up the private industry is the most important thing.
Sir?
Yes, Mike Leeser with the Associated Press. One of the keys to getting routine back is getting people back in their homes. When you look at the raw numbers, about 9% fewer people have flood insurance in Houston than they did 5 years ago. Do you understand what's behind that decline? And because this flood is so far outside the area where people had flood insurance, what's the advice for homeowners who don't have federal flood insurance but are out of their homes?
So very simply put, those that have flood insurance need to be activating their NFIP policies. Those that don't will most likely be dealing with the Small Business Administration and looking at low interest loans and different things, because they also have a disaster declaration through SBA. So typically anything, if you're uninsured outside the NFIP, the next step is most likely going to be the Small Business Administration.
And what's behind the decline in the numbers of people?
All right, you've been listening to a news conference from Washington from FEMA and the Department of Homeland Security giving an update on what they still consider to be life-saving and life-sustaining measures taking place on the Gulf Coast right now. They do note that the storm is moving on, and Houston soon will be able to begin the recovery effort. They're not there yet because they still have to get out on boats and look for people who may be stranded in their homes. As you can see, the storm itself has moved on past Houston, through Beaumont and Port Arthur, now up over Louisiana and Lake Charles, Louisiana, which is right under that path of the storm you're looking at right now. Joining me is the mayor of Lake Charles, Louisiana, Nick Hunter. Mr. Mayor, thank you so much for being with us right now. We just saw a radar shot from Lake Charles. Give me a sense of what it looks like outside.
Hey, John, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, we're doing well here in Lake Charles. We actually had a more intense rain and more intense flooding events Monday evening than we did last night. My heart goes out and my heart breaks for our neighbors to the west. They are really getting the brunt of this storm. But I can tell you in Lake Charles, our number one priority is still the safety of our citizens. But right now, we are doing well.
We were looking at some pictures of the last few days in Lake Charles. There has been a whole lot of rain there and a number of rescues taking place. What's your outlook over the next few hours and your area of greatest need?
Well, right now, of course, the greatest need is the safety of our citizens. We do have a shelter set up in Lake Charles for those who have been displaced. Locally, we have an amazing group of elected officials here that are working together. We're taking care of our citizens, but we're very resilient people here in Southwest Louisiana. I can say that moving forward, the federal assistance from FEMA, and I really appreciate your comments about the SBA, those two agencies are absolutely going to be essential to get people back into their homes that were damaged and also get people back to work and get these businesses back up again. Both of those agencies will absolutely be needed in the days moving forward in our area.
Any sense of how many people are stranded right now in your city?
Speaking only for the city of Lake Charles, right now we have about 200 to 300 people that are at our shelter. So, you know, some of those came from outside the city of Lake Charles. We've actually heard a few reports of some people coming from Texas that made it to our shelter. So, again, you know, we do have some areas that were affected, but compared to what we are seeing to the west, we have not seen the intensity that our neighbors to the west have seen.
Well, Nick Hunter, mayor of Lake Charles, Louisiana, that is good news, and we hope the good news holds out for you in the coming hours. We need a lot more of that in the days ahead. Nick Hunter, mayor of Lake Charles, Louisiana, thank you very, very much. We got a lot of news this morning. Stick around. We'll be right back.
Duncan just protected his family with a $500,000 life insurance policy. How much do you think it cost him? $100 a month? $75? $50? Actually, Duncan got his $500,000 for under $28 a month, less than $1 a day. His secret? SelectQuote. In just minutes, a SelectQuote agent will comparison shop nearly a dozen highly rated life insurance companies and give you a choice of your 5 best rates. Duncan's wife, Cassie, got a $750,000 policy for under $21 a month. Give your family the security it needs at a price you can afford. Since 1985, SelectQuote has saved over 1 million families millions of dollars on life insurance. Call now, 800-556-0900, or visit SelectQuote.com. Discover what over 1 million families know now. We shop, you save.
The only thing that stands between you and great sleep is a simple box. The revolutionary Casper mattress perfectly balances soft and firm for outrageous comfort. It's the internet's favorite mattress. Order online. You can try it for 100 nights in your own home. And if you don't like it, we'll pick it up and refund you everything. Visit Casper.com for special offers.
All right, back with you, John Berman here. The life-saving mission in Texas and wherever Harvey heads next is huge, and it's just going to grow. That moments ago from federal officials. More than 200 shelters are now housing 30,000 evacuees. Harvey, as you can see, moving finally up and out of the Gulf. The brunt being felt in Port Arthur, Texas. The mayor of that city described it as being entirely underwater. The nation's largest oil refinery is entirely out of commission in that city. The Port Arthur Civic Center opened last night. It was supposed to be a refuge from people. You can see here, it itself was flooded. In Beaumont, Texas, CNN's Drew Griffin and photographer Scott Peacecheck, they had to save a man's life. Behind them, as they were setting up for a live shot, a guy drove his truck into what he thought was a road. It wasn't a road, it was a river, basically. The man and our crew shaken, but okay. Harvey made landfall what should be the last time this morning on the Texas-Louisiana border. In Houston, they're still trying to measure how many people need to be rescued and how much damage was done. The rain is no longer falling there, and in some areas we have seen the floodwaters recede. CNN covering this story from every angle this morning. Let's get first to Drew Griffin in Beaumont, Texas, which has seen some of the most recent weather, and Drew, where you also had a heck of a morning.
Yeah, we were just setting up for a live shot, just this very live shot location, the rain pouring down. We're trying to warn people about the water on the roads and the water in the ravines when we heard a sound. And just take a look and listen to what happened next. Look at this. Get out, dude. You got a power cord? You got a rope? Give me.
Not that long.
Hold on, I'm trying to get you a rope. All right, buddy, come on, get up out of that water. No, don't fall backwards. You all right? No, ma'am. No, ma'am. We got a car in a ditch. We just pulled a fellow out. Lord have mercy. Are you all right now, buddy? Yeah. All right, take your breath, and we're going to pick you up. We're going to get you off of this bank. Okay?
Yes, sir.
We're going to get you off of this bank. We just literally rescued this guy out. You can see his car, John. I don't know, Brian, are you working on that video? This man just accidentally drove into a ravine that looked like a road, didn't it?
Yeah.
Looked just like a road. And his truck just went in, and it's now going down that ravine, and we just pulled him out of the ravine. It happens within seconds. This is why it's so dangerous right now to be out. It's unbelievably out. Come on, sir, let's get you up into the dry.
Well, hey, I want to thank these guys for saving my life. Thank you.
Where are you from, buddy?
Winnie, Texas.
Winnie, Texas. So you guys have been hit pretty hard in Winnie, Texas.
Yeah.
What's your name?
Jerry Summerall.
Jerry, somebody needs to come and get you. Jerry
I'm staying at the
Summerall.
motel right up here.
Oh, Lord. Okay. Well, just take a breath. Take a breath. get some water. John, that just, I mean, it just happened right before our eyes. We were able to get Jerry Summerall from Winnie, Texas, a ride. A fellow with a pickup truck took him back to his hotel. He's calling the police. We hope to link up with him when he's a little drier and a little calmed down. But it just happens that quickly. And if no one was here, if nobody was out doing a live shot, that fellow he'd be gone. I can see just the top of his truck from my vantage point right now. He would be trapped in water.
Jerry Summerall is lucky right now, Drew, that you and your team were there. The picture of that truck floating down that ravine, that stream, with its windshield wipers still on. But lucky, Jerry Summerall no longer in it. A remarkable vision. Thank you to you and your crew, Steve Pieszczek, Brian Rokas, for Scott Pieszczek and Brian Rokas for doing what you did there. It's okay that you missed the live shot to save that guy's life, I tell you. What a morning you've had. Drew Griffin, thanks so much. We do want to show you one picture right now. This is Interstate 10 near Winnie, Texas. This is west of Beaumont. On the left is what the highway is supposed to look like, a normal day. On the right, white caps as the water just covering the whole region. This photo was posted online yesterday and is all over social media. That is not what it's supposed to look like on the right there. I want to get to Chad Myers right now at our weather center to get a sense of what we can expect, Chad, and really what we've seen.
Well, we've seen now almost 52 inches in Houston, and Houston is over. It is now moving to the east into Beaumont, Port Arthur. That's where life-threatening flooding is going on right now. But look at the numbers, 51.88 in Cedar Bayou, and that's over the entire period. What's happened in Beaumont, 26 inches of rain in the last 24 hours. So the center of the circulation has moved just to the east and is doing the same thing to Beaumont and Port Arthur and Grove that it did to Houston. So we're kind of shifting the attention to where Drew Griffin is, because that is a desperate situation for some folks there. We already saw the video of what he did, and thanks to him, because a hero on TV right there. We'll see the rain showers move across parts of Georgia, Mississippi, and Alabama, and also still spin across parts of Louisiana. We're still going to see 3 to 5 inches of rain into the areas that are already flooded today. And Mobile, you could pick up about 8 inches of rain today, especially to the north. We'll watch for flooding there. Now we're going to take you to these reservoirs. Been hearing about these things now for a few days. We have the Addicks Reservoir and we have the Barker Reservoir. The Addicks Reservoir has a dam, levee, that does this, that stops water from coming in here, going into the Buffalo Bayou, and then into Houston. The Barker has a dam here, stops the water from getting into, slows the water from getting into the Buffalo Bayou and getting into Houston. These were made in the 50s, 40s really, and they're still holding back water. But 99-point-something% of the time, they're grassland. There's nothing there except a park, because there's not water in it. Although it's a reservoir, it's only a flood retention reservoir. This is what it looks like right now, 2016, last year. I want you to notice how many houses are out here. Now I want you to see what the engineers were thinking back in the 40s when they built this. There's nothing out there. There's more cows than anything else. So here is where we are now. Look at this. I want you to focus on right here. Look at all of these empty spots. Okay, I'm getting a wrap, John. Back to you.
All right, Chad Myers for us, getting a look at those reservoirs. A lot of concern over the coming hours there. Chad, thank you so much. We had to let Chad go quickly because on the phone with us right now is Marcus McClellan. He's the Deputy Public Information Officer for the Jefferson County Sheriff's Office. Jefferson County, home to Port Arthur, Texas right now. And Marcus, we've been hearing overnight from a number of people alarmed, scared, concerned in Port Arthur. Give us a sense of the situation right now.
Yes, over the night as Tropical Storm Harvey entered Jefferson County, we got a significant rainfall, and of course there was nowhere for it to go. Everything, the ground was saturated, all the runoffs are full, so water started just backing up into any place that it could find, and one of those areas was the Bob Bauer Civic Center in Port Arthur, Texas.
Yeah, we saw that evacuation center, the water rising in there, people getting up into the bleachers inside there. We also heard some 20 inches of rain in Port Arthur after all the other rain you've had over the course of the week. Are you able to reach everyone in need right now?
Yes, we've got a tremendous turnout of volunteers coming out with boats, low drafts, airboats. We're coordinating that through our emergency management office here at the county courthouse to get those assets out into the rural areas to help get the citizens out of the flooded residence.
Do you have a sense of how many people right now are stranded in Port Arthur?
It's going to be into the several hundreds because, I mean, they had at least close to 150 in the Civic Center. They've got some other areas throughout the night where people were just walking out of their homes and finding other locations to go gather just so that they can stay dry.
Do you have the resources you need? What's the greatest need inside Port Arthur right now?
The greatest need right now is to find another dry shelter to start housing these individuals.
Where are they now? What are you doing with the people who were inside, or I guess still are inside, in the bleachers inside that shelter?
That's being coordinated by the Port Arthur Emergency Management Office in Port Arthur, Texas. They're spearheading that operation, seeing to that everybody gets out of that area.
We're just seeing from the city's social media site that Port Arthur is asking for people with boats. Come, help, a plea for help from Port Arthur. What do you want?
Yeah, if they have boats, of course, we want them to reach out and talk to the Port Arthur Emergency Management Office and coordinate their resources with them so they can keep track of everybody and get them in the areas of most needed first.
Is it still raining in Port Arthur, and do you worry that the floodwaters could still rise there?
It's just about done raining. We're still getting some light showers and everything. Hopefully we're done with the rising water, but we're still getting runoff from the north and northwest from other areas. So we may see our flood gauges go up some more.
And your message right now to the people of Port Arthur who may be listening?
If you need assistance, call your 911, your emergency management office, and try to get to a high elevation where you can be seen so that you can be picked up.
All right, Marcus McClellan, the Deputy Public Information Officer for Jefferson County Sheriff's Office. Thank you so much for being with us. Stay safe if you can. Joining me now, Brigadier General Patrick Hamilton. He's the Joint Staff Director of the National Guard Joint Force Headquarters in Austin, Texas right now. General, thanks so much for being with us. We just got off the phone with Port Arthur. Seems to be a lot of need down there. What can you tell us about how you may be helping to respond?
Yeah, thank you very much. I got an update this morning. We pre-positioned several high-profile vehicles for high water evacuation with the disaster district, state disaster district in Beaumont, Port Arthur vicinity yesterday. They are on the ground working today, moving through at the direction of the local emergency managers to help get people to safety that need their help. We also have multiple aircraft that launched this morning that are doing search and rescue. We even have one of our large lift aircraft bringing in boats for Texas Task Force 1, who's the state search and rescue entity.
Do you have the sense that the helicopters and the boats you have out are still finding people who need to be rescued?
Oh, absolutely. I think in that area, just because the weather's starting to clear now, it's just getting to where we can get some of the aircraft in to do those operations.
And that's in Houston, you mean, or in Port Arthur, Beaumont?
Well, both. I mean, Port Arthur, Beaumont was the immediate need. We are still doing ongoing operations in Houston and have for a couple of days. As that storm transitioned and we brought in additional resources, those are being allocated to the more immediate need in Beaumont and Port Arthur, and we continue to surge forces into those areas.
Yeah, you guys seem to move where the danger is. That is the nature of your job right now. What's the biggest threat that you see as this storm has moved on, at least a little?
Right. These disasters go in phases. The initial part is search and rescue. Understand where the local assets are overwhelmed, get to those as quickly as we can, and then we start transitioning as the weather clears, the water starts going down, utilities are out, and we have to start transitioning from search and rescue to providing life support, water distribution, food distribution, continued evacuation, for people who did ride it out but still can't stay in their homes because they don't have utilities and those things, and then do mass evacuations and then start moving people into shelters. That is a long process. As you remember, the storm hit down in Corpus Christi. We are in the process, we are in the phase now down there where they're doing points of distribution, large points of distribution operations, handing out commodities to the citizens there, and then evacuating the ones who can't stay.
And of course, as you say, right now, the mission is still life-saving in the majority, I would say, of the Texas area right now. We've been putting some numbers up on the screen so people can see of the resources at play here. 800 active duty soldiers, there's all the National Guardsmen, there's 100 helicopters at play here. People always want to know what the numbers are, and they wonder, would more be better? Would more numbers, more people, more helicopters make much of a difference now? Do you need additional resources?
Yeah, all the federal and state agencies from other states have stepped up amazingly to support Texas. We have requested some additional outside support. We have 14,000 National Guardsmen activated for this disaster. The National Guard Bureau at the federal level and other states have positioned folks for our support, and we're flowing them in as they're needed. One of the biggest challenges you have is if you get too much support, can be just as bad as not enough. It clogs up our ability to respond and provides additional requirements for support that can take away from our ability to respond. So we are working very closely at the local level, and that's where it's all the most important. Is every disaster is local, and so we're tied in with those local emergency managers and the state disaster districts. We are bringing in the capabilities that they need and making sure that we don't overwhelm them with something that will then tie them up. But I would tell you that at every level, the amount of support has been overwhelming, and we have plans to bring in what we need when we need it. It's available to us, and we'll continue to do that.
All right, Brigadier General Patrick Hamilton, thank you so much for being with us, and thank you so much for everything you're doing right now. We really do appreciate it.
Thank you.
And the response has been enormous, from the military to mom and pop, really. You know, trapped at a gas station, dozens of people forced to take shelter there with nowhere to go when a woman came to the rescue of complete strangers. This is a lovely story, and we all need it. We'll talk to them next.
It's time for a getaway. The Lincoln Summer Invitation is on. Now get our best offers of the season on the Agile MKC, on the versatile midsize Lincoln MKX, or go where summer takes you in the exhilarating MKZ. Hurry in. It's the final days of the Lincoln Summer Invitation sales event, ending September 5th. Right now, get 0% APR plus $1,000 summer savings on the Lincoln MKX, MKC, and MKZ.
Moms know their kids need love, encouragement, and milk. With 8 grams of natural protein and 8 other nutrients to provide balanced nutrition. Moms know kids grow strong when they milk life.
My experience with USAA has been excellent. They always refer to me as Master Sergeant. They really appreciate the military family, and it really shows.
We've got auto insurance, homeowners insurance.
I had an accident with the vehicle. I actually called USAA before we called the police. USAA was very hands-on, very quick, very prompt. I feel like we're being handled as people that actually have a genuine need. We're the Weber family, and we're USAA members for life.
USAA. Get your insurance quote today.
If you've ever considered getting a walk-in tub, we have great news.
No more cold seats. For a limited time, when you purchase a Safe Step walk-in tub, we'll upgrade your order to include our newest feature, a heated seat.
That's a $600 value. Free.
But that's not all. The new and improved dual hydrotherapy system now has foot massaging jets to help soothe aching feet.
And as always, Safe Step walk-in tubs are built to maximize safety so you can stay in your home and enjoy the comforts of bathing again.
Call the number on your screen now for more information and a free, no-obligation consultation.
Our new walk-in tub is affordable and could change your life.
Thousands of people just like you are already enjoying the safety and luxury comfort of their Safe Step walk-in tub. Financing is available, so call 1-800-454-9996. That's 1-800-454-9996. You deserve it. Call and get yours today.
It's the Labor Day sale at Ace.
Buy 2 gallons of our top paint brands
And get one free.
The Ace Buy 2 Get 1 free paint sale ends Monday. And with the Extra Mile Promise, get everything you need to paint in one trip or deliveries on us.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
Joseph A. Bank celebrates Labor Day with up to 60% off almost everything. All Traveler and 1905 suits just $249. Dress shirts, sports shirts, shorts, and more only $29. Plus take an extra 50% off all clearance items. Only at Joseph A. Bank.
At Whole Foods Market, we believe in food that's naturally beautiful, fresh, and nutritious. So there are no artificial colors, no artificial flavors, no artificial preservatives in any of the food we sell. We believe in real food. Whole Foods Market.
With my moderate to severe Crohn's disease, I was always searching for ways to manage my symptoms. I thought I had it covered. Then I realized managing was all I was doing. When I finally told my doctor, he said Humira was for people like me, who've tried other medications but still experience the symptoms of moderate to severe Crohn's disease. In clinical studies, the majority of patients on Humira saw significant symptom relief, and many achieved remission.
Humira can lower your ability to fight infections, including tuberculosis. Serious, sometimes fatal infections and cancers, including lymphoma, have happened, as have blood, liver, and nervous system problems, serious allergic reactions, and new or worsening heart failure. Before treatment, get tested for TB. Tell your doctor if you've been to areas where certain fungal infections are common, and if you've had TB, hepatitis B, are prone to infections, or have flu-like symptoms or sores. Don't start Humira if you have an infection.
If you're still just managing your symptoms, ask your gastroenterologist about Humira. With Humira, remission is possible.
All right, the breaking news this morning, Harvey made landfall yet again, dumping more rain, leaving thousands displaced. Thousands of people have evacuated to shelters throughout the Houston area. The Red Cross promises no one will be turned away. The George Brown Convention Center in Houston right now hosting more than 10,000 evacuees. That is capacity. Our Rosa Flores, who has been doing phenomenal work inside that convention center, joins us now. Rosa, what are you seeing?
Well, we actually just got an update from Texas Senator Ted Cruz. He had a mini press conference. He's actually touring the facility right now, and he says that there are hundreds of shelters across the state of Texas. He says that he's been overwhelmed by the outpouring of support from Texans, helping Texans with money, with donations, with pretty much anything that they have, including boats to rescue people. Now, as you know, Senator Ted Cruz voted against the Sandy relief bill for Hurricane Sandy, and so did Texas Senator John Cornyn. And he mentioned that he and Senator John Cornyn are working on a bill to support Harvey victims. And here's what he said. He didn't vote for the Sandy bill. Take a listen.
That bill included money for fisheries in Alaska. Now, the last I checked, Hurricane Sandy didn't go anywhere near Alaska, and so the Texas congressional delegation voted against putting unnecessary spending in what should have been an emergency relief bill. In Texas, we're going to see bipartisan support in Congress, across Congress, for providing the aid that Texans need.
So we follow up with the question, will the Texas bill to help Harvey victims be free of pork? Now, Texas Senator Ted Cruz responding, saying that they will focus on emergency response. So, you know, we're going to have to see and read that bill and figure out what all will be in that bill. But of course, a lot of Texans hurting right now, hoping that some sort of relief bill is passed through Congress to help people in Texas rebuild.
Yeah, no doubt. The people of Houston, the surrounding areas, they want help after the storm, much like the people of New Jersey and New York did as well. Rosa Flores, thank you very, very much. That shelter right there hosting 10,000, you know, big giant shelters, not enough, and regular people are stepping up to help. A Houston family showing unbelievable hospitality. Nicole Richard and her family taking in 16 strangers who were stranded at a gas station. Nicole Richard joins me now by the phone from her crowded house. Nicole, thank you so much for being with us. Thank you for what you're doing. Explain to me what happened. You went to the gas station to get maybe some gas and supplies, and you came home with 16 people?
Well, not exactly, but kind of, yes. We were actually on our way to the gas station, and my aunt called, and she said, I have a friend of a friend of a friend who's stuck at a Shell station on Jarvis and Togi. And I said, I'm at that gas station right now. Let me go find her. And so I just walked around the gas station looking for someone named Judy, who I'd never met, didn't even know what she looked like. Finally found Judy, and with her she had her husband Roy and her friend Patsy Ray, and they didn't have anywhere to go. There was no way really out of that area, and so I just said, come home with me, and realized standing there that there were a lot, dozens and dozens of other people who had nowhere to go.
So you said, all come to my place.
Yeah.
Without a moment's hesitation.
Without a hesitation.
And how many people at the Max were there with you? And I say how many people, it wasn't just people. I keep seeing pictures of dogs and pets.
Yes, I think that was part of the big deal, is people didn't even want to ask for a place to stay because they had their pets too. Like, one of the families that we have with us actually has 5 dogs, 6 dogs.
Sorry, I hope I didn't lose you right there. If I can, Becky Haley and Cynthia are there with you. They are now your house guests, who knows for how much longer. You know, what does it mean, what Nicole has done for you guys?
Oh, she's done a lot just by offering us her home. It was really crazy. We thought that we could stay at home with everything happening, our first floor flooding, no power. We weren't able to, you know, use the restroom either because the water was just coming up the pipes. And it was crazy to think that we could stay there. And so when we finally decided to leave, we had to walk through the water to get out. We were rescued, and we were brought to the gasoline station. It was such a blessing for her to have offered us their house. I mean, we have 3 grown dogs. Two are short and 1 is big, and then one of our small ones had babies, 3-week-old puppies. And so it was difficult to ask for the help. I was so thankful that they still took us in with all my puppies and dogs.
All your puppies and dogs. What have you guys been doing, Becky, to pass the time?
Oh, we've been talking and finding out that we actually know other people that they know, and they've been playing with my 4-year-old granddaughter. Blessing in itself.
And Nicole, what has this meant for you, opening up your house like this, having this full house as you have through this crisis? What has it meant for you?
What has it meant for me? I don't really know how to answer that. I mean, I think it's been a pleasure, honestly. I mean, we sit around the table at dinner and we have conversations for 2.5 hours, and we pull together how to make a meal. It's just, honestly, it's really fun. I feel like this is not, for me, it's not difficult, it's enjoyable.
How long do you think you're going to have this full house?
As long as they need to stay here.
As long as they need to stay here. Nicole Richard, thank you so much for what you're doing. If there's anything we can send you, board games to keep you all occupied, you know, dog food, let us know. But again, thank you for what you're doing. Just one of the heroes stepping up in this moment of need in Houston.
Well, sure. I don't even think it deserves thanks. Honestly, it's really a pleasure.
Which just proves how wonderful a person you are. We did just get some brand new video from Houston right now. We do want to show you children being rescued from the floodwater. You can see the sun is shining there, but the need still very present and the danger all too present. We'll bring you the very latest next.
Okay, recording. I know John Sununu. I respect him. He'll be a governor New Hampshire can be proud of. I hope I said his name right. I'd never said it. Sununu? Why the hell isn't his name?
folders, done. Super cool notebooks, done.
That's Mom taking care of business. But who takes care of Mom? Office Depot Office Max. Order online and pick up in store in just 1 hour.
Taking care of business.
We needed to hire someone, but it was really tough finding people that had the right experience.
I was spending half my day just reading resumes.
To hire great people, go to ZipRecruiter.com and post to over 100 of the web's leading job boards with one click. Then, easily select the best candidates from one list.
I'm seeing a lot more candidates with the right experience.
We have gotten consistently better results from ZipRecruiter than anywhere else.
Over 1 million businesses have already used ZipRecruiter. Try it for free today at ZipRecruiter.com/newstv.
Introducing Lean into 20, 30, 50, even more. I'm Marie and I lost 50 pounds on Nutrisystem. You'll see results right away. Count, measure, meetings? No, not with Nutrisystem.
Order your 28-day plan right now and we'll rush you Lean 13. Get specially designed meals, plus 1 week of new NutriCrush bars to crush cravings free. And 1 week of turbo shakes to bust belly bloat free.
Bye-bye, stubborn belly fat.
Call or go online in the next 2 minutes and we'll even throw in FedEx shipping free. Lose up to 13 pounds and 7 inches overall your first month.
Your first 13 pounds, gone.
Go online or call 888-902-THIN right now and get new Lean 13 with bars and shakes free.
I'm leaving you, Wesley.
But why?
You haven't noticed me in 2 years.
I was in a coma.
Well, I still deserve appreciation.
Who was there for you when you had amnesia?
Ugh, you know I can't remember that.
Stop this madness. If it's appreciation you want, you should both get Snapshot from Progressive. It rewards good drivers with big discounts on car insurance.
I have also awoken from my coma.
It's called a nap, Susan Lucci.
If you could book a flight, then add a hotel or car or activity in one place and save, where would you go? Expedia gives you the world in your hand, so you can see more of it. Expedia.
Let's go! Let's go!
Looking good.
Season 10 of Anthony Bourdain Parts Unknown starts Sunday, October 1st at 9 on CNN.
Hi, I'm Ty Pennington. The average person spends 282 minutes on their smartphone every day. But it only takes 60 seconds to find your perfect mortgage with Guaranteed Rate's easy, intuitive loan finder. Just go to rate.com and answer a series of simple questions about your specific mortgage needs. And the intuitive loan finder's powerful decision engine will generate a customized list of the best loan products at the lowest rates for you, all in less than 60 seconds, and all for free. Guaranteed Rate has helped over 500,000 happy customers find the right mortgage with low rates, and now they've made it even easier. Choosing the right mortgage could save you thousands of dollars. Isn't it worth only a minute of your time to check your options? Whether you're buying or refinancing your home, get a low rate from Guaranteed Rate today. Visit rate.com right now to see how much you could save. Call 1-888-812-5050 or visit rate.com.
This is CNN, the most trusted name in news.
All right, I want to show you some pictures we're just getting in right now. This is the runoff from the Buffalo Bayou, which you've heard so much about inside Houston. That is well over its banks right now, obviously severely flooded. One thing I do want to point out, you can see the sun is shining right now in Houston, which is a wonderful thing, but the clear vision only reveals the ongoing danger right now. You can see people still out in canoes, a dog on a raft right there, people walking to safety, still being rescued. We don't know how many people still need to get out of their homes. Hard to tell what will happen with the Buffalo Bayou over the coming hours. There are some tributaries and waterways inside Houston which will not crest until sometime tomorrow. There is still concern about the two reservoirs which feed into the Buffalo Bayou. So the scene you're seeing right now here in Houston may not get any better for some time, despite the fact that the sun is out. Obviously a wonderful thing that the sun is out, but still so much need. These are live pictures you're looking at right now. Oh, it's so nice to see those kids heading to safety. And I don't know what it is to see the Swan in the inner tube right there. We're glad they have stuff to put their belongings on. Others dragging everything they own or can fit into those plastic containers. Deciding what to save, what to get out of your house is such a difficult choice for people, and one that often needs to be made very, very quickly because you just don't know how quickly the floodwaters will rise. But again, this is Houston now. This is Houston this morning, even after the rain has stopped. There are other parts of Texas which have been in the crosshairs even more recently, getting 20 inches of rain or so in Beaumont and Port Arthur. The mayor of Beaumont, Becky Ames, joins me now by the phone. There's a flash flood warning for your entire area today. Mayor, give me a sense of what things look like right now.
Yes, good morning. It is still raining here, and we're not seeing any sunshine yet, but we hope to soon.
It will come. We promise it will come, but not before I think some more trying hours right now. Give me a sense of the need in your city.
Well, we have been doing rescues for the last 3 days as far as high water rescues. This has been going on in Beaumont since Friday. We stood up our emergency operations center last Wednesday. We did stop doing high water rescues that were non-emergency at dark last night because it is so dangerous at night to do so. And so we have resumed this morning those non-emergency rescues. We have a customer service hotline, our 311 system, and the people that call in there. So our teams are out already this morning to start rescuing the people that may have had issues overnight. We did start announcing yesterday afternoon that if you thought you might want to evacuate or need to evacuate, to go ahead and call us because we would come before dark.
Mayor,
However,
we're looking right now at a live
911 calls, and of course we would go out to them.
Yes, I know you're getting everyone the help as quickly as you can. We're looking at live pictures right now. Our correspondent Drew Griffin is in Beaumont. And about an hour ago, during his live shot, a man drove his truck into a ravine that was filled with water. The truck floated off. We can see the truck now almost completely submerged. Drew and his crew were able to get this man out of the truck, perhaps saving his life. But I think more than anything, it's a lesson to the people and a warning to the people of Beaumont right now. Don't try to go out and drive. Stay off the roads. What would be your message right now to the people in Beaumont?
Exactly that. We have been saying that for the last 3 days because we did get the most rain in the last 24 hours, but it has been pretty constant really since Sunday morning. So it's bands of rain, so it's moving around, so it's very hard to judge. Also, I've tried to stress school is out because the schools, of course, are closed, and a lot of the children are playing in those detention ponds and drainage ditches, and there could be snakes in there. We have manhole covers floating around. Children could fall in there, and that's one of the things that we're trying to get out to everyone. Please, just be safe and use really good judgment. It is not always what it appears when the water is this high.
Indeed not. You can't tell what is under the surface. Mayor, I do want to ask you quickly before we let you go. One of the more heart-wrenching stories of the last 5 days in Texas has been the story of a mother in Beaumont who died, was swept away by the floodwaters. She was clinging to her 3-year-old daughter. The 3-year-old girl did survive. Can you give us an update on how she's doing this morning?
I understand that the child is doing well. Unfortunately, our first responders did everything they could, and so the mother did pass. But our hearts and prayers go out to that family. It's been very difficult. Our first responders have been through a lot the last few days. They're very tired. This has been a storm that seems to never end. And when something like this happens, I think it makes it even worse.
Yeah, indeed. Again, our hearts go out to that family. We are standing with you, Mayor Becky Ames of Beaumont, Texas. Please keep yourself safe and try to get through until the sun starts shining, which could happen in Beaumont in the next 12 hours. Thank you, Mayor.
That's what we're hoping for. Thank you so much, and we appreciate your support. Bye-bye.
Of course. All right, the Brazos River in Fort Bend County, Texas, has reached record levels. Residents in the surrounding area have been ordered to evacuate as more flooding could be coming. We have a live update for you in just minutes.
The reality is that Russia remains an adversary of the United States. They're engaged in aggression around the world. Every American who watches this is going to ask the question, who can I trust?
Declassified. Welcome to the no pressure zone. Carl, have you met everyone? You see, time is just a construct of human perception, an illusion, like this one.
Help! I can't breathe!
Which means there's no pressure to get a great rate on a hotel. They're available for an unlimited time, always. So book now, or don't. No pressure.
Enamel is the strong, white outer layer of your tooth surface. The thing that's really important to dentists is to make sure that that enamel stays strong and resilient for a lifetime. The more that we can strengthen and reharden that tooth surface, the whiter their patient's teeth are going to be. Dentists are going to really want to recommend Pronamel Strong and Bright. It helps to strengthen and reharden the enamel. It also has stain lifting action. It's going to give their patients the protection that they need and the whiter teeth that they want.
Hi, I'm Joan London with A Place for Mom, the nation's largest senior living referral service. For the past 5 years, I've spoken with hundreds of families and visited senior care communities around the country. And I've got to tell you, today's senior living communities are better than ever. These days, there are amazing amenities like movie theaters, exercise rooms and swimming pools, public cafes, bars and bistros, even pet care services. And nobody understands your options like the advisors at A Place for Mom. These are local expert advisors that will partner with you to find the perfect place and determine the right level of care, whether that's just a helping hand or full-time memory care. Best of all, it's a free service. There is never any cost to you. Senior living has never been better, and there's never been an easier way to get great advice. Call today. A Place for Mom. You know your family. We know senior living. Together, we'll make the right choice.
We asked our customers, why is Consumer Cellular your choice in wireless?
Consumer Cellular helps me save money. It's simple and easy.
It is reliable.
I like the fact that there are no contracts.
By moving to Consumer Cellular, my cost is 50% less than it was.
They fit the plan to you.
I have everything I want with Consumer Cellular.
Their customer service is fabulous.
Customers are the #1 priority.
I really feel like they take care of me.
We're proud to have received the J.D. Power Award for highest customer service 3 times in a row.
We really appreciate the AARP discount.
AARP members get exclusive discounts.
It's easy to switch. You could use your own phone and you could use your own number. Wild horses wouldn't drag me away from Consumer Cellular.
Go with Consumer Cellular.
You're going to save a lot of money.
Switch today. It's all backed by a 30-day risk-free guarantee. Call 1-800-325-6461. Go online or visit a Target store today.
I hated our bathtub, but who has time for a remodel? Not this family. And then there's the mess. Then I heard about Bath Fitter. They came in and put a beautiful new bathtub right over our old one. Bath Fitter also has seamless walls that provide a watertight fit. There's no mess, no demolition, and they get it done in as little as 1 day. Plus, they provide a lifetime guarantee. Thanks to Bath Fitter, I have a bathtub I love.
Call today or learn more at bathfitter.com.
Closed captioning brought to you by Simmons Hanley Conroy. Call 1-800-891-1300.
If you have mesothelioma, call Simmons Hanley Conroy. Billions have been set aside to pay asbestos victims. Call Simmons Hanley Conroy.
1-800-891-1300. 1-800-891-1300.
Residents around the Brazos River in Houston have been ordered to evacuate. This after water levels surged nearly 2 feet above the previous record. I want to go to the Brazos in Richmond, Texas right now. CNN's Polo Sandoval is there. And Polo, I think it's so important to note this because other reporters we have seen the water actually recede in some areas, but it's such a dynamic situation with the water sinking in some areas, rising in another. You've seen the water go up over the last several hours.
John, when you and I spoke about 24 hours ago, it was still rainy. That's obviously changed, and the water level was at about where that large tree is. That's what marked the water line. 24 hours later, you can see that the Brazos River continues to slowly creep into this mobile home park on the banks of the Brazos River, which continues to get higher and higher, deeper and deeper. As a result, most of these homes are empty right now, and this is really underscoring the need for people to simply steer clear. There's some folks who have been coming in to try to see firsthand what the situation looks like, but for the most part, the people that I've spoken to the last few days and just a few minutes ago decided to simply pack up and leave. So a majority of the homes here are currently empty right now. People here have been through this before. This river reached record levels in May of 2016. This time, though, it is expected to exceed that record, which means some of the homes that may have been spared about a year and a couple of months ago are certainly going to get damaged this time. The good thing here, the flow is fairly slow. It isn't a sudden increase in the flow, but nonetheless, it is reminding people that, sure, the rain is gone, the sun is out, but the threat is far from over, John.
No, indeed. All right, Polo Sandoval, important information right there. Appreciate it. We do have some other news this morning. Tensions rise with North Korea. The Defense Secretary, James Mattis, is weighing in. We're going to go to the Pentagon for a live report next.
Victory. It happens on the court, at the wall, and after 8 hours of glorious sleep. The BeautyRest Black Hybrid features BeautyRest Advanced Support System for individualized back support. It's equipment for high-performance sleep. You'll find it exclusively at Mattress Firm, home of the Love Your Mattress Guarantee.
This is our summer vacation. This is how we unwind. This is our day at the beach. And this is the Acura MDX. Hurry to the Acura Summer Performance event for some of the most exciting offers of the year.
Lease the 2017 Acura MDX for $409 a month for well-qualified customers. Don't miss this event going on now.
There's nothing more important than your health. So if you're on Medicare, or will be soon, you may want more than Parts A and B. Here's why. Medicare only covers about 80% of your Part B medical expenses. The rest is up to you. You might want to consider an AARP Medicare Supplement Insurance Plan, insured by United Healthcare Insurance Company. Like any Medicare Supplement Insurance Plan, these help pick up some of what Medicare doesn't pay. And these plans let you choose any doctor or hospital that accepts Medicare patients. You could stay with a doctor or specialist you trust, or go with someone new. You're not stuck in a network, because there aren't any. So don't wait. Call now to request your free decision guide and find the AARP Medicare Supplement Plan that works for you. There's a range to choose from, depending on your needs and your budget. Rates are competitive. And they're the only plans of their kind endorsed by AARP. Like any of these types of plans, they let you apply whenever you want. There's no enrollment window, no waiting to apply. So call now. Remember, Medicare supplement plans help cover some of what Medicare doesn't pay. You'll be able to choose any doctor or hospital that accepts Medicare patients. Whether you're on Medicare now or turning 65 soon, it's a good time to get your ducks in a row. Call to request your free decision guide now, because the time to think about tomorrow is today.
There is a mood in Washington tonight of a president who is very much on the defensive.
Polls show that a lot of American people just simply don't believe you.
Together, we'll make America great again. Thank you very much.
What's up, Jeremy? What's that?
It's the new Ring Spotlight Cam. Lets you see and talk to anyone on your property right from your phone.
Anyone?
Anyone.
Solicitors?
Yeah.
Car thieves?
Sure.
At night?
It's got a light.
What about bears?
Yep.
Pirates?
Probably.
Ninjas?
Depends.
Giant squids?
Definitely.
Regular squids?
Has to.
Aliens?
For you, of course.
I'll take 6.
See and speak to visitors right from your phone. Check it out at ring.com.
Have you lost money on your investments? Don't blame yourself. Your stockbroker or financial advisor may have withheld information, suggested unsuitable investments, or even just plain lied to you. Whether your losses are big or small, if you suspect your money has been mismanaged, call Sokolov Law now and let us try to recover some or all of your hard-earned money.
Call Sokolov Law today at 1-800-296-0860. That's 1-800-296-0860. I'm a non-attorney spokesperson.
I just haven't even wanted to look at my body. Now I feel okay.
The president heads to Missouri shortly to talk about tax cuts, but he is facing escalating tensions abroad, namely with North Korea. The president had some pretty sharp criticism this morning for the situation. Let's go to the Pentagon right now. Barbara Starr is there with the details. Barbara.
John, good morning. Well, the North Koreans taking another step by putting out for the first time now publicly the video, the images of this latest ballistic missile launch by North Korea that flew over northern Japan. That, of course, a major concern for a key U.S. ally, that this missile flew right over Japanese territory. The President of the United States tweeting again this morning after all of this. And I want to read you what that tweet said. The President saying the U.S. has been talking to North Korea and paying them extortion money for 25 years. Talking is not the answer. Talking is not the answer from the President of the United States, raising a lot of questions about what could he possibly mean. Because if you're not talking, you're doing something else. He said just the other day, all options remain on the table. So a short time ago, here at the Pentagon, reporters asked Secretary of Defense James Mattis if the time was up for diplomatic options, because the Pentagon and the State Department have very much been focusing on diplomacy rather than the fire and fury remarks of President Trump. And we'll bring you that sound later, but what Secretary Mattis told reporters was, and I quote, "No, we are never out of diplomatic solutions. We continue to work together." So the Secretary of Defense perhaps very much still on the diplomatic page, while the President is talking about the time is up for talking. All of this coming as also overnight the U.S. sent a bit of a message conducting a very long-planned ballistic missile defense test at sea. It was long planned, but it sent a message that the U.S. is still working on its systems to be able to shoot down North Korean missiles. John?
All right, Barbara Starr for us at the Pentagon. Thank you very much. I want to go back to Houston right now, if we can. Just getting word that our Brian Todd is out right now with the rescue team. Brian, focusing on some stranded animals. What can you tell us?
Yeah, John, we just pulled a family of 3 and 3 dogs out of this house here in this neighborhood just west of Houston, and the family is here with us. These are the rescuers. Mark Malf is the airboat operator. He has just ventured up there to see if he can find someone else. We're told that there may be someone else in need of being pulled out of their home. This is Sharon Kittler, Lisa Kittler, and Dennis Kittler, correct?
Perfect.
Okay. Down. So they're trying to calm the dogs down. Dennis, tell us what happened. So this is about, what, waist-high water, and this did not happen until, like, today?
About 1 o'clock this morning. After we had our hurricane party and moved all our stuff back down, we thought it was all over. And we were all blessed that both here and our homes in Galveston were spared. And then at 1 o'clock, I woke everyone up. I said, we have water. And then it started coming in, and we had a fire drill trying to bring everything back up, and then we got so tired we went to bed.
You're going to bring Bailey. And then, so basically, what did you tell your family at that point? Did you make a plan then to get out, or were you just trying to assess it?
the first plan was to talk ourselves into getting out of the bed upstairs, and where the dogs were with us. And then we made a plan and said, let's find some clothes, put them in a bag. I don't know if we are going to leave or not, but probably it would be a good idea. And then we finished a few things to bring upstairs and started watching the helicopters, and we saw our neighbors one by one leaving, and a couple of them called us and said, when you get right out there at Briar Forest and Lakeside Estates, we're dry. So
you think this is from the Buffalo Bayou and the Addicks Reservoir overflowing?
And Brays Bayou is the smaller one that comes through. But yes, all of this is that letting out that extra water that obviously they need to do.
Okay. Thanks, Dennis.
You bet.
So, John, yeah, this is kind of a surprise to these people in this neighborhood. These waters were not as high yesterday and the day before when it was really pouring down rain. They think this is some of the residuals from the Buffalo Bayou overflowing, so you can tell, you can see some of these, these scenes over here, that a lot of these neighborhoods are really still heavily flooded and not out of the woods yet, John.
No, an important lesson, Brian. They thought they had seen the worst of it, then the water started to rise overnight, even after the rain had stopped. Brian Todd for us in Houston. Give our best to that family. We'll be right back.
Do you have a life insurance policy you no longer need or can't afford? Now you can sell your policy for an immediate payment.
We bought life insurance when our kids were young to protect their future.
Our youngest just turned 40, and we no longer needed the coverage.
That got us to thinking about letting our policy go. So I did some research and called Coventry Direct. I learned that you could sell all or part of a life insurance policy, even a term life policy. Turns out, people have been selling policies like ours for the past 15 years. Who knew? We sold our policy. Now we have money to help with the medical bills.
And to add to our retirement.
If you have $100,000 or more of life insurance, you may be a candidate to sell your policy. Call 1-800-382-9600 or visit CoventryDirect.com for a free information packet. 1-800-382-9600. Coventry Direct, redefining insurance.
Look at these tweets. His words.
New accusations in a series of tweets.
Let's read just one of the tweets.
He's the Twitter president.
Let me ask you, keep the Twitter going or not? Keep it going?
He rose to power 140 characters at a time.
It's an asset. I tweet well.
But could his tweets backfire on his presidency?
I think if Donald Trump implodes, it'll be because of Twitter.
CNN Special Report, Twitter and Trump, Friday night at 9.
Straining pasta is such a pain when the noodles spill and go down the drain. There has to be a better way.
Hi, Chef Daniel Green here with my new Gotham Steel Pasta Pot.
With tempered glass lid and built-in strainer. Plus our exclusive Stay Cool twist and lock handle. Look here, just twist to lock, then drain the pot. Even upside down with 5 pounds of potatoes. Our Ti-Cerama surface is made with super strong titanium and a super slick ceramic. It's durable, so mashing potatoes with electric beaters won't scratch it. Plus, nothing sticks while cooking. Mac and cheese just slides right out. So don't let straining get you stressed.
Get your Gotham Steel Pasta Pot with flip and lock handles and tempered glass straining lid for just $29.99 plus shipping. But wait, call now and you can get a Gotham Steel pan with Ti-Cerama surface. Just pay separate fee. You'll get it all. Call now.
To order, call 1-800-526-1623. That's 1-800-526-1623 or order online at GothamSteelPot.com.
This is CNN, the most trusted name in news.
Hurry, it's the final days of the Ford Summer Sales Event.
It's gonna work, I promise you. We can figure this out.
A little help?
Hold on, Mom. No, Wi-Fi. Wi-Fi. It's not a question, it's a thing.
Take on summer right with Ford, America's best-selling brand. Time is running out for summer's hottest offer. Get 0% for 72 months plus an additional $1,000 on top of your trade-in. That's 0% for 72 months plus $1,000 on top of what your trade-in is worth. Hurry, the Ford Summer Sales Event and this deal ends September 5th.
All right, the donations are pouring in to help those affected by Hurricane Harvey. J.J. Watt's crowdfunding campaign now tops $5 million. Andy Scholes with the latest in the Bleacher Report. Hey, Andy.
Hey, John. You know, J.J. Watt originally just wanted to help raise $200,000, but his plea for help has been heard around the country with more than 50,000 people donating his Houston Flood Relief Fund through You Caring. Now top $5 million, as you said, and Watt says the new goal is $6 million.
over 50,000 people have donated to this thing, and it's rising by the minute. Every time you refresh the link, it keeps going up and up and up. So thank you so much to everybody who's donated, to everybody who's spread the word. It's incredible. You know, the most difficult times seem to bring out the best in humanity, and that's showing through right now so much. So please keep sharing, please keep donating. Whatever you can do, $5, $500, anything helps.
And Watt and the Texans will be on the field for their final preseason game tomorrow night. The game was moved from Houston to Arlington. Every ticket to the game, $25. All the proceeds going to go to those affected by Hurricane Harvey. And the Astros, meanwhile, moving their series with the Rangers this week to Tampa. Houston fans coming to the game with signs showing their support for the city, and all the tickets, concessions, and parking revenues from this series this week are going to go to the relief efforts. The Astros did lose last night to the Rangers by a final of 12-2. And John, props to Houston Rockets owner Les Alexander. He originally pledged $4 million to relief efforts. He's now upped that to $10 million.
Andy Scholes, thanks so much. Andy Scholes, I also just want to say, you know, you are from Houston, Houston's favorite son, and I just want you to know, I know your family's been going through a tough time down there. I have been thinking about you, so our heart goes out to you.
Appreciate that, John.
Down there. All right, thanks, Andy. Thank you all so much for joining us. At this hour picks up our special coverage now.
Hello, everyone. I'm Frederica Whitfield in for Kate Baldwin. This morning, Tropical Storm Harvey makes new landfall, and floodwaters are now rising very quickly in areas east of Houston along the Texas-Louisiana border. Heavy rain is creating a dire situation in Port Arthur, Texas. Floodwaters have rushed into the makeshift shelter inside the Civic Center. Evacuees now have to endure yet another scramble to higher ground. Port Arthur's mayor says the entire city is underwater, and the nation's largest oil refinery there is shutting down because of the flooding. Here's one breathtaking visual to underscore the record-shattering amount of rain. This is what Interstate 10 normally looks like near the Texas town of Winnie. Today, that exact section of I-10 looks like a seascape. In nearby Harris County, about 30% of all land is underwater in square miles. That's bigger than New York City and Chicago combined. At any moment, we'll hear from Texas Governor Greg Abbott. He'll update the emergency response intensifying across his state. So one of the hardest hit areas right now is Beaumont, Texas. In the last 24 hours, the city got 26 inches of rain, and more is on the way. It's a very dangerous situation for people taking to the roads. Watch what happened next to one of our teams this morning.
Look at this. Get out, dude. You got a power cord?
Incredible. Our Drew Griffin and his crew ran over and was actually able to pull that man from the car. Drew Griffin joining me now live from Beaumont. So Drew, give us an idea what happened. I mean, how commonly are people having a difficult time telling what's road and what's water?
It's why authorities tell us not to go out when it's this kind of environment, because you can't tell the road from a ditch from a river. And this river ditch is right behind me. This fellow was actually trying to come across the parking lot of a fast food joint. He thought he would just cross over onto this road that looks like it's covered in water. It's not a road. It's about 10 to 12 feet of current going down a drainage ditch. We tracked him all the way down until we were able to get a rope on him as he came out of his driver's side window. We threw the rope on, we pulled him over to the bank, and we just got a little bit of tape of what happened after that.
Well, hey, I want to thank these guys for saving my life. Thank you.
Where are you from, buddy?
Winnie, Texas.
Winnie, Texas. So you guys have been hit pretty hard in Winnie, Texas.
Yeah.
What's your name?
Jerry Sumrall.
Jerry, somebody needs to come and get you. Jerry
I'm staying at
Sumrall.
the motel right up here.
Oh, Lord. Okay. Well, just take a breath. Take a breath. Get some water. It's just a split second. The guy made a bad decision, and if nobody was here, there would have been no way that he could have been rescued, because I can see just the top of his truck now visible in that ravine, in that swift-flowing water. This is what's taking place all around Jefferson County, Beaumont, Texas. Port Arthur's 20 miles south of here. People need to just stay in place As bad as you think it is where you are, if you are at anywhere near dry and it's not a life-threatening emergency, you just need to wait for the water to go down, because getting out here puts your life at risk and the rescuers' lives at risk.
So incredibly frightening. Thank goodness you all were there. Very unfortunate. He's just staying at the nearby motel, so thank goodness he wasn't too far away. All right, Drew Griffin, we'll check back with you there. Thank you so much. Let's bring in CNN's Brian Todd. He's in Houston and on a boat, and they continue to, as we see right there, rescue people. Extraordinary, Brian. What's going on?
Well, Frederica, we're in the Lakeside Forest neighborhood west of Houston, and just a kind of a massive evacuation here, all by private boat. You see some fire and police units up there, but they're ferrying people to trucks now where they can get them loaded onto trucks and then out of this neighborhood. We got about 5 people in the boat and about 4 dogs that we just pulled out of a house around the corner here. And there's pretty good coordination between these private boat operators and some of these truck drivers and some of the officials down the street here.
You're going to have to swim with this.
What is striking about this situation is that these waters, according to these local residents, were not as high as this until this morning. And the rain pretty much subsided late last night, early this morning, but the waters kept rising.
Guys, we got to keep them coming.
The local citizens told us that they believe it's from the Buffalo Bayou and from the Addicks Reservoir that spilled over. And so this is a late stage flood here. As you see, they're trying to get these dogs and everybody. The dogs are a little fidgety right now and a little bit scared, understandably.
I'll either get out and you can hand me the dog, or I'll hand the dog.
Yeah, sure. They're asking me to help with the dog here. I'll hold him. So, Frederica, this is kind of the situation here. They're just trying to get these people in an orderly way. There's our producer, David Shortell, helping with the dog here. Yeah, we got it. Uh-oh. A little bit of a dog freak out there.
One dog is muzzled.
Yeah. So, a lot of stress among the animals here, but the people are fine and they're being evacuated to trucks and everything down the road. Take them to a safer place.
Well, it's all hands on deck, clearly there, Brian. So give us an idea. I mean, we've seen such an incredible mix of Good Samaritans, officials in this operation right here. Are these people who just happen to pitch in with their, boats, etc., to help people in the neighborhood?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of Good Samaritans coming out here. No, there's a surprising amount of coordination among them. They communicate with each other. We'll come upon another boat where they'll be going down one street, and they'll tell us that, well, we think there may be people who need help down this other street, so why don't you turn down there? It's a lot of informal communication, of course, but they are communicating, and as you can see, you've got city officials coming in here at the same time, trying to get a read on what. That's a constable truck right there. So it's just a lot of intermixing of city officials and private boat operators helping out here.
So then, Brian, as this boat and others kind of go down these what are now waterways, are people flagging them down? Are they putting markers outside their homes to let people know that they want to be rescued? What's happening?
People are basically flagging them down, Frederica. In one of the other neighborhoods where the water was even higher, at the height of the storm, they were telling people to put towels and everything out of their windows. We're not seeing that here, but people are coming out and flagging them down if they want to be picked up. Some people are actually saying, don't pick me up, I'm okay, I'm going to ride it out. So a lot of people, like these gentlemen over here, seem to be willing to stay. But a lot of people here are they're afraid now because this was a late event in this storm. The waters just rose this morning.
So for those who are saying that they want to stay, are they being asked any other additional follow-up questions from authorities there? Like, do you have food? Is there anything you need?
We haven't heard people ask them that. They're basically just asking them, do you want to stay or go? Because they're just sorry, just trying to figure out what's going on here. They're just in such a hurry to get people out who want to get out. I have not, but these are private boat operators, so they're not really in a position to ask whether people have food or not. That's up to the search and rescue teams and the city officials to come out here and ask that. But it seems people here are in pretty decent shape, but they're just really concerned about their homes. And because this water rose so late, basically early this morning, they just don't know if it's going to go higher or not, so they're a little bit scared.
All right, heroic work that so many of you are doing, and all of those boaters, rescuers, etc. Brian Todd, thank you so much. Appreciate it. All right, let's find out more about the biggest threats in Texas and Louisiana right now. Meteorologist Chad Myers is following all that from the CNN Weather Center. Chad.
Biggest threat, still rising water in Houston and surrounding. I mean, you know, still Richmond going to go up and Rosenberg going to go up and the like. But tonight and overnight, we're still watching and hoping that Beaumont, Port Arthur can dry out. They have had 26 inches of rainfall in 24 hours. Now, that doesn't compare to 52 inches in Cedar Bayou, but really that has been over about 120 hours. It is the devastating flood happening right now in Beaumont, Port Arthur, and not getting a lot of TV attention because all the crews are in Houston. But if you are in Beaumont, Port Arthur, they know you are flooded. Keep tweeting, keep calling, and the boats are on the way as well there. We've seen so many reports and pictures coming in. People sitting on their roof taking a picture and sending it on Twitter saying, please come save me. Here's the storm here in about 12 hours or so right over Louisiana. It's still raining. There still will be some showers in Louisiana, but I think the heaviest rain might even be over Mobile and east of there to Pensacola. So let's get to this map of the reservoir. Two of them, Addicks and Barker. Our Brian Todd is right there. Addicks and Barker, built back in the 40s, hold back water from the farm and ranch land here. Maybe I'll show you a picture what that ranch land looks like now. And the water comes down the creeks and into Addicks and out into the Buffalo Bayou. It comes into Barker and out the Buffalo Bayou, to Houston being right over here. So they've let some water out of Barker and also Addicks, trying to relieve the pressure, but it didn't work. They didn't relieve enough pressure. The water is now 109 feet high. Up here on the top of Addicks, the top of that levee is 108 feet high. So you know what's going to happen. The water is going to come out of here and then down into the suburbs, down into these residential areas where our Brian Todd is now with the rescue crews. 1953. That's what this place looked like, right here. Same levee right there, just being built right there. Here's Barker down here. Look at this. There's no one here. No one lived there. All they were trying to do was to stop the flood from getting down here into the bayou to Houston. Most of this rain soaked in because there was no concrete. There were no buildings. There was no rooftops to get all that into these creeks and streams. So never did they ever estimate how much water could run off. And that's where we are now. Back here, a little zoomed in here. 1953. There's the top. Here's where our Brian Todd is, right here. I'll get to show you again. Here's where the water is going around now. And down here where our Brian Todd is, there's nobody. There's not even businesses there yet. Now let me change the picture, and you can take a look what's happened over the past 50 years. Urban sprawl, urbanization, and flash flooding. But never did anyone consider 30 to 40 inches of rainfall over such a wide area spilling into this reservoir, which really, on a normal day, is a city park.
Yeah, what an incredible view. All of it now underwater. All right, thanks so much, Chad Myers. Appreciate that. So as Chad just said, Beaumont and Port Arthur, Texas are facing life-threatening floods. Many parts of Beaumont are already underwater. Officer Haley Morrow from the Emergency Management Office of Beaumont, Texas, is joining me right now on the phone. So, Officer, what are the current conditions in Beaumont right now? How would you describe it?
Well, right now we are just, for lack of a better term, treading water. We are trying to get to all of the people who are calling in for emergency rescue, not to mention the people who have called on a non-emergency rescue just because of floodwaters that are rising. Right now, our neighbors in Port Arthur and the other surrounding counties are taking water in their shelters, and so that's creating a bit of a problem because our shelter is almost at max capacity, and now we're having to deal with trying to help out our neighbors as well. So it's all hands on deck, and the Emergency Management Office is up and running, and we're just continuously monitoring and trying to get logistics and planning going.
And how are you getting to people that you believe are in need? I mean, are you using boats and you know, high water vehicles, and how do you know which residents to go to?
Well, we are continuing to tell people to call 911 or our non-emergency 311 lines. Our police and fire are in Zodiac boats, and our officers and our EMS personnel are in high water vehicles. We do know that Port Arthur is accepting volunteers with airboats and things of that nature, and so we're in a little better shape than they are. So we are continuing to just use our our official police, fire, and EMS to respond to emergency situations.
And what are your options on shelters if you have some of your primary facilities taking on water? What are your other options?
Well, we in the city of Beaumont, we are not taking water in any shelters. We're still dry. That footage from the shelter is from Port Arthur, and a lot of the footage that's being shared is all from Port Arthur. We do have flooding. We are in dire situations, but our shelters are okay. The only problem we're having right now is that they are almost at max capacity, and so logistically we're trying to work out another facility, especially because now that the shelters in Port Arthur are taking water, everyone's looking to Beaumont to assist, and we're really strapped with trying to get our citizens to safety as well.
And then, Officer Morrow, it is so sad to hear this information about one confirmed death in Beaumont. A woman found with her toddler daughter clinging to her. The mother was lost, but the little girl survived. What more can you tell us about the circumstances there and how the little girl is doing?
We are now at 2 confirmed fatalities. Unfortunately, we had another one this morning, but we don't have a whole lot of detail on that one. But yesterday, at about 3:30, our officers responded to the southbound service road on I-10 in reference to a high water rescue where a vehicle was flooded out and the mother and child were swept into a canal. And so when the first responders got there, they were about half a mile from the vehicle, almost underneath a trestle. Had it been a few moments later, they would have been swept underneath there and our boats wouldn't have been able to get to them. And they spotted the child who had a pink backpack on, and she was clinging to the back of her mother, who was already deceased and floating in the water. And so that was devastating for our first responders, and just across the city, our first responders are just mentally and physically exhausted. But that involving a child, and just a true testament of a mother who put her own life at risk and sacrificed her life to save her child. That was devastating news here in Beaumont.
It is devastating. All right, Officer Haley Morrow, thank you so much. All the best to you and your friends and neighbor and family there in Beaumont. Appreciate it. All right, coming up for us, they went there for safety, only to get flooded again. Some evacuation centers in Texas now taking on several feet of water. We'll see more about some of those places, the stunning images, and where these folks go from here. Straight ahead. Plus, the incredible displays of heroism keep coming out of Texas. Coming up, how these Texans formed a human chain to save a stranded driver.
This is Crab Fest at Red Lobster. Dive into the classic crab lover's dream or new dueling crab legs with Dungeness and snow crab, only during Crab Fest. Now this is seafood. And hurry in to enjoy our new crab melt, part of our seafood lover's lunch, weekdays just $9.99.
The goal of every allergy sufferer is 0 nasal allergy symptoms, and nothing gets you closer than Nasacort. Unlike antihistamines that target one cause of your symptoms, Nasacort stops more, and stopping more gets you closer to 0. Nasacort stops more of what makes you miserable.
Binders, done. Super cool notebooks, done.
That's Mom taking care of business. Save on back to school now with a 25-cent event only at Office Depot Office Max. All this, just 25 cents each.
Taking care of business. I do.
Who says a pool can't be in the sky? Who says a living room can't be in a pool? Who says a 5-star luxury vacation can't be all-inclusive? Sandals La Source Grenada takes innovations beyond the realm of imagination. Experience the sandals of tomorrow today. Call 1-800-SANDALS.
It's the Sears semi-annual blowout event. Save 10 to 70% off on all clothing and shoes. And up to 70% off on outdoor life for him and Simply Styled for her. Plus hot deals on jeans for kids starting at $8.99. Hurry in. Sale ends September 4th.
Hi, I'm Jesse.
And I'm Ben. We started Hubble because contact lenses are too expensive. At Hubble, our fresh daily contacts are affordable and delivered straight to you. Get your first 2 weeks free at HubbleContacts.com.
I have spent years taking over-the-counter products for my belly pain and constipation. I've had it up to here.
It's been month after month of fiber.
Weeks taking probiotics.
days and nights of laxatives, only to have my symptoms return.
If you've had enough, tell your doctor what you've tried and how long you've been at it. Linzess works differently from laxatives. Linzess treats adults with IBS with constipation or chronic constipation. It can help relieve your belly pain and lets you have more frequent and complete bowel movements that are easier to pass. Do not give Linzess to children less than 6, and it should not be given to children 6 to less than 18. It may harm them. Don't take Linzess if you have a bowel blockage. Get immediate help if you develop unusual or severe stomach pain, especially with bloody or black stools. The most common side effect is diarrhea, sometimes severe. If it's severe, stop taking Linzess and call your doctor right away. Other side effects include gas, stomach area pain, and swelling. Talk to your doctor about managing your symptoms proactively with Linzess.
If you have Medicare Parts A and B and want more coverage, guess what? You could apply for a Medicare Supplement Insurance Plan whenever you want. No enrollment window, no waiting to apply. That means now may be a great time to shop for an AARP Medicare Supplement Insurance Plan, insured by United Healthcare Insurance Company. Medicare doesn't cover everything, and like all standardized Medicare Supplement Insurance Plans, these help cover some of what Medicare doesn't pay. So don't wait. Call now to request your free decision guide. It could help you find the AARP Medicare Supplement Plan that works for you. These types of plans have no networks, so you get to choose any doctor who accepts Medicare patients. Rates are competitive, and they're the only plans of their kind endorsed by AARP. Remember, these plans let you apply all year round. So call today, because now's the perfect time to learn more. Go long.
Closed captioning brought to you by Simmons Hanley Conroy. Call 1-800-891-1300.
If you have mesothelioma, call Simmons Hanley Conroy. Billions have been set aside to pay asbestos victims. Call Simmons Hanley Conroy.
1-800-891-1300. 1-800-891-1300.
Welcome back. Amid all the tragedy, Houston had more than 50 rescues by the fire department since midnight. And there are also remarkable stories of ordinary people jumping in to help each other. Like we see in this heartwarming video, a group of people forming a human chain on the interstate to try and rescue an elderly man who was being swept away by the floodwaters in his car.
Come on, keep the chain going. Come on, we're younger. Come on. Go, 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 go. Go, grab him. Grab him. On my head. Everybody got a blanket or something for him?
Do me a favor.
Anybody got a blanket?
I'm gonna pick you up.
What's up, man?
Wow, isn't that something? So touching, people helping people in such extraordinary ways right now. The person who actually took that video, Maritza Castillo, told CNN the man was taken to a local hospital and reunited with his son. All right, joining me right now, Louisiana Lieutenant Governor Billy Nungesser. So good to see you, Lieutenant Governor. Seeing stuff like that happen in an extraordinary way in Texas is so heartwarming. And I know the folks in Louisiana know exactly how to put themselves into action if they are faced with the same kind of devastation. So give me an idea right now. You know, Harvey made landfall a second time just west of Cameron, Louisiana, and now it's moving northeast across southwest Louisiana. What can you tell us about the conditions there?
Well, we're getting these rain bands, but our concern will be after this storm comes well ashore and those rivers start flowing south with the heavy rains, the unknown. Will they inundate neighborhoods and new areas that have yet to flood? And people tend to let their guard down after the storm comes ashore, and we're going to have to watch this for several more days as those rivers start to flow south.
And what are among your biggest concerns besides, you know, sometimes people taking it a little bit too casually, but what else are you most concerned about?
Well, it's those people that'll go to bed and not be watching, and as these rivers flow south, and leave their banks and head where they want, rescuing people at night. The night before last, 500 people in Lake Charles had to be rescued. Last night, the sheriff's office plucked 6 more people out of the floodwaters. It's people not knowing where to go and whether to evacuate. And much like on a larger scale, what's happening in Texas, just not knowing where that water is going to go. Unlike when a storm comes ashore with storm surge, you can see it. So that's the scary part about this storm, and the rainfall just adds to it.
And of course, people are taking upon themselves to help out one another in best ways they can. Their instincts just kick into high gear. You've actually been asking for volunteers, but in what capacity are you asking them to pitch in?
Well, we're asking people to go to volunteerlouisiana.gov. You can click where to help, to make donations, or to volunteer. This morning, we started providing fuel to the Cajun Navy. They're coming back to Lake Charles and fueling up and going back to assist people in Texas. And I'm sure after this storm, the gutting of homes and helping neighbors, Texas is going to need a lot of help, as will those 500 people that flooded in Louisiana. And we are great neighbors in Louisiana and Texas, as across America. The volunteer efforts will be greatly needed, and I'm sure neighbors will be there to help out, just like we just saw, risking their lives to rescue people. That's a great thing about America.
It is indeed. And you mentioned the Cajun Navy, and one has to wonder, there are going to be so many, millions of people displaced. For other portions of Louisiana, perhaps not touched by Harvey, how do you see that Louisiana will be taking in people from Texas, whether it be in a temporary manner or perhaps even permanently?
Right. We have a 2,000-bed shelter the governor has ready in Shreveport and waiting for the call from Texas. If they need that, we will open that immediately. It is ready to accept people as soon as Texas people assistance immediately. But it's going to be a long, long time before Texas recovers for this size of devastation.
All right, Lieutenant Governor Billy Nungesser, thank you so much, and all the best to you and everyone there in Louisiana.
Thank you.
It. All right now I want to go to Houston City, a council meeting right there. Senator Ted Cruz is speaking, and also there with him, Congresswoman. Let's listen in.
As one, and every one of us, even as we have our friends to the east in Beaumont and Port Arthur that are experiencing this storm, it is a wonderful thing in Houston to wake up this morning and see blue skies. It's been a long time since we've seen blue skies. And we will rebuild, we will be stronger, and I just want to thank the incredible public servants that are gathered here today and united and standing as one.
Thank you, Senator. Congresswoman Sheila Jackson-Lee.
There's a lot of love in this room, and as I saw the emotion of my friend, Congresswoman Stark, I am at that point, and I'm going to try to contain myself. If I had known that the mayor would give me this privilege, I would have dressed up. But I've got around my neck my identification because I am part of the staff here at George R. Brown, and I thank you for the privilege of being here to be able to be part of the dynamic unity that has been shown by council members, listening to what you have done across the city in your own districts overlapping the 18th Congressional District. You are deserving, as you have supported the captain of the ship, and Mayor, for the steadiness of your thinking, because so many times the heart is big and love is big, but in times of tragedy and crisis, catastrophes, the mind needs to be able to embrace the right decisions. So many of you know that I have said across the nation that you are not here, and what would you have wanted to happen? And the only thing I believe, Mayor, that the tribute will come in the days and months and years is that we saved lives. You saved lives. And you did it because firefighters were not eating or getting their medicine, police officers were not eating or getting their medicine, nor were they at home pulling out rugs and furniture and taking care of the dogs and cats and moms and dads and children. They were out. I saw them. And I had I don't know how to say it, the right to join them on getting 60 people out of a church. And it was firefighters and police officers. And let me thank the United States Army Museum who brought their equipment out, old military equipment that did work. Please don't, it did work. And those firefighters hauled them down, and we went and got these people. These are the kinds of episodes that happened in this catastrophic event. So I want to, one, say that the federal government is the umbrella on a rainy day. We didn't have rain, we had a monsoon. And nobody could understand what we're facing. So let me again thank Houston, let me thank the brand of this great city. We have a brand, Get It Done. And everybody put it. Thousands of them here. A Marine unit that just came in that is going to continue to do some final sweeps. We have an HEB cooking truck. Maybe you go out and get some food right in the back of the George R. Brown Convention Center. The Christian, the faith community, the Bora community, the Muslim community, all of these folk have been helpful. Let me thank the U.S. Department of Agriculture. You may have just heard that they're going to waive the provisions and allow our children to have, any child in HISD, 3 meals a day for the entire school year. That's what the federal government needs to do. And with the senator's leadership, Senator Cornyn, and I'm so glad he said the Texas delegation, you've had an unblemished record in dealing with FEMA and dealing with the money we've sent. Senator, I remember Senator Hutchinson in Hurricane Ike. We've got $400 million here. We haven't heard a word about any inappropriate use of funds. I think that should be clear to the citizens of Harris County and Houston, of the custodians like the judge, Judge Emmett, and all of you. And so I'm not going to be shy about asking for upfront funding, a waiver, temporary waiver for upfront funding, which I think is important. And Senator, I hope maybe we can help. You know, we try to stay in our lane. We're the federal government. But I hope we can help with a state law that's coming into effect on September 1st. I hope we can pray and ask for a waiver, temporary stop, 6 months. I'm not in charge, but I'd like to collaborate so that folk can get their applications in and be able to get what they are due. That is so very important. I hope that we can do that. Mayor, my last point is that people need comforting, and you've been the chief comforter. And so I just encourage the faith community and just folk who are a little bit more dry than others, hugs, love, and expression that we're going to get through this. And I like the attitude of saying we're still the greatest city. We've got, you see that I'm one of the new recruits on the Rockets. I play basketball better than I play football or baseball. So we just need to make sure that we give that love and that comfort. And as we try to make it back, I don't know whether we're hooking it on a private plane, but I guess they'll open it up for us, Senator, for us to get back to Washington. We'll be able to do this. I have one point to say. I want to emphasize what the senator did. This is what the senator said. This is a bipartisan effort. I've gotten calls from across the country from Republicans and Democrats. I want to thank the Democratic leadership for their calls. But I think it's important, I'm in the House, to note that Speaker Ryan has called. He's called me. I think the one point that he said that I want to make sure we all know, that there will not be one light of difference. We'll have some talking points, I'm sure, but one light of difference on getting the funding that we need here in this area. So if you will...
All right, you're listening to Texas Congresswoman Sheila Jackson Lee there together with Senator Ted Cruz, and she's underscoring there, along with the senator there, saying that this will be a bipartisan effort. You heard Congresswoman Sheila Jackson Lee say there that she is not going to be shy at all about asking for a temporary waiver, upfront funding. At the same time, she was applauding the dedication of the civil servants in the police and fire departments, and also praising the mayor, Houston Mayor Sylvester Turner, saying you saved lives. All right, coming up for us, FEMA says 30,000 people escaping the flooding are now in shelters, and now floodwater has even overtaken one of the shelters in Texas. Details on that coming up.
Please, help!
The running of the bold dogs? Surprising. What's not surprising? How much money Aaliyah saved by switching to Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more.
Why pay more for your home than you need to? Mortgage rates change daily, and waiting to lock your rate could have a huge impact on the interest you pay over the life of your loan. If you're thinking of buying a new home or refinancing your current mortgage, call Quicken Loans today to learn how you could keep more money in your pocket. The rate today on a 30-year fixed-rate mortgage is 3.99%, APR 4.19%. With Quicken Loans, a great mortgage rate is just the beginning. Our technology, fast process, and home loan experts give you an exceptional mortgage experience. Call Quicken Loans today to get started. Get the confidence that comes from working with a mortgage partner whose top priority is getting you the right mortgage. For 7 years in a row now, J.D. Power has ranked Quicken Loans highest in the nation in customer satisfaction for primary mortgage origination. And for the 4th year in a row, they've also ranked us highest in the nation for mortgage servicing. No matter what you want to accomplish, Quicken Loans has a variety of home loan options to fit your needs. Take, for example, our 1% down payment option. That's right. You can own a $150,000 home with as little as $1,500 down. If you want to purchase a new home but don't have enough cash for a large down payment, our 1% down payment option could be a great home loan for you. Whether you're purchasing a new home or are interested in refinancing to take cash out of your home, Quicken Loans can help you achieve your mortgage goals. Call Quicken Loans today. Our home loan experts will help you understand all the details so you can be confident you're getting the right mortgage. Again, the rate today on a 30-year fixed-rate mortgage is 3.99%, APR 4.19%. Quicken Loans. Apply simply, understand fully, mortgage confidently. Call us today or visit us at quickenloans.com.
It's just not the same with back pain. Doan's relieves back pain.
Wow.
Doan's. We've had your back's back since way back. Now available in a cream.
Okay, recording. I know John Sununu. I respect him. He'll be a governor New Hampshire can be proud of. I hope I said his name right. I'd never said it. Sununu? Why the hell isn't his name?
Tired of food sticking to the pan? You try to scrape it, and then you scratch it. You may as well trash it. Not anymore. Hi, Chef Daniel Green here with Gotham Steel, the newest technology in non-stick cookware made with ceramic and super strong titanium. Stronger than ever before. It's like cooking on air. Everything slides right off. Use Gotham Steel in the oven to up to 500 degrees, and it's dishwasher safe. Plus, use metal and never make a scratch ever. Even fire won't damage Gotham Steel.
Get your 9.5-inch Gotham Steel pan for just $19.99. But wait, call now and you can get a second Gotham Steel Tie-Cerama pan free. Just pay separate fee. It'll never stick and never scratch, so we're giving you a huge 90-day money-back guarantee. Call now to get your Gotham Steel pan and a second pan free. Here's how to order.
To order, call 1-800-853-8809. Again, that's 1-800-853-8809, or order online at buygothamsteel.com. You must be 18 years or older to order.
This is CNN, the most trusted name in news.
All right, the human toll from Harvey is rising by the minute, both in terms of those killed and left homeless. Take a look at this video from an evacuation center in Port Arthur, Texas. People who had fled to the Bob Bauer Civic Center had to evacuate yet again when floodwaters came rushing inside the building overnight. The person who shot this video says hundreds of people were there. FEMA this morning reports more than 30,000 people are at shelters across Texas. That number is expected to rise. And 2 new mega shelters are now open in devastated Houston to ease overcrowding at the city's largest emergency shelter, the George R. Brown Convention Center. And I want to get an update now on conditions at that shelter. CNN's Rosa Flores is there. So, Rosa, what is the situation there?
You know, the headline here, Fred, is that people are starting to leave, not so much to go to their homes because a lot of those areas are still flooded, but they're reuniting with their families. Because remember, there were a lot of streets here in Houston that were blocked off. The water was too high. So even though people wanted to go with family rather than coming here to a shelter, they couldn't because those waters were so high. Well, today, after a lot of pain, after a lot of trauma, we are starting to see some smiles, some reunions. I talked to one woman who reunited with her family, and she said that her birthday is tomorrow, Fred, and she is hoping for some seafood and a martini, and she's going to be 66 years old. So imagine just those. Yes, just those are the types of stories that we're starting to hear today as people start reuniting with family, and they are just so grateful for the American Red Cross, for the city opening this shelter, for the rescue workers. They know it's a long road ahead. They know that they probably lost everything, but they are so grateful to be alive.
Gosh, well, Rosa, you know, while so many people are there at that convention center, part of the problem for some of the relief items was actually getting in to the convention center, you know, in terms of food, diapers, supplies, etc. Have many of those trucks been able to make their way through those impassable roads to finally get some of that relief there?
You know, the American Red Cross told me this morning that when they saw blue skies and the sunrise, they knew that this was definitely going to be a better day for supplies. Now, you probably remember there was 5,000 cots here to start off with, and there was 10,000 people, so a lot of people sleeping on the floor. Those cots did arrive, I'm told. Now there are extra cots, and of course you're seeing people behind me leave as well, so that helps. But the American Red Cross explained to me that now, because a lot of the major roadways are open, because some of the water has receded, they know that now they're going to have the supplies that they need. They're going to be able to get more blankets and cots, of course, and food to make sure that everybody can get warm meals. So that's the silver lining today, Fred, the fact that some of the water has receded. My team and I were actually around town earlier today, and we were able, some roads are still closed, but you're able to maneuver around the city in better condition than a few days ago. So when it comes to bringing supplies to people who need it, that's quite the blessing today.
A little bit of light at the end of that tunnel. All right, Rosa Flores, thank you so much in Houston. All right, if you'd like to help those impacted by the storm, go to cnn.com/impact to find out how you can help.
I've seen them all. Big, small, wide, slim, but never two exactly the same. Which is why at Men's Warehouse, we create the perfect fit. Because no matter what size your label says, it's time to like the way you look.
Olay Eyes. New deep hydrating eye gel with hyaluronic acid. Born to outperform the #1 prestige eye cream. For better hydration and your best look yet. Olay Eyes Collection. Ageless.
There's nothing more important than your health. So if you're on Medicare, or will be soon, you may want more than Parts A and B. Here's why. Medicare only covers about 80% of your Part B medical expenses. The rest is up to you. You might want to consider an AARP Medicare Supplement Insurance Plan, insured by United Healthcare Insurance Company. Like any Medicare Supplement Insurance Plan, these help pick up some of what Medicare doesn't pay. And these plans let you choose any doctor or hospital that accepts Medicare patients. You could stay with a doctor or specialist you trust, or go with someone new. You're not stuck in a network, because there aren't any. So don't wait. Call now to request your free decision guide and find the AARP Medicare supplement plan that works for you. There's a range to choose from, depending on your needs and your budget. Rates are competitive. And they're the only plans of their kind endorsed by AARP. Like any of these types of plans, they let you apply whenever you want. There's no enrollment window, no waiting to apply. So call now. Remember, Medicare supplement plans help cover some of what Medicare doesn't pay. You'll be able to choose any doctor or hospital that accepts Medicare patients. Whether you're on Medicare now or turning 65 soon, it's a good time to get your ducks in a row. Call to request your free decision guide now, because the time to think about tomorrow is today.
Even though I've been using catheters for 15 years, I gotta tell you, Liberator Medical has made it a whole lot easier.
Call Liberator Medical for free samples of innovative catheters, like the men's catheter that lubricates itself. And for convenient out-of-home use, there's the discreet men's pocket catheter. Get free samples of these innovative catheters for men. Call Liberator Medical, a CR Bard Incorporated company.
1-800-793-8886.
Have you been diagnosed with spinal stenosis, bulging or herniated disc, sciatica, or other chronic spine conditions? Are you ready to find lasting relief? Call Laser Spine Institute, the nation's leader in minimally invasive spine surgery, to learn how a less than 1-inch incision can have you up and walking within a few hours of surgery, free from chronic back pain, and with no hospital stay and no lengthy recovery.
Call 1-800-347-BACK now for your no-cost MRI review.
Take your first step in joining over 60,000 patients who found lasting relief at Laser Spine Institute.
My boss would send me home because I was in excruciating pain. Going to Laser Spine Institute, I go in, I have the procedure, and walk out a changed person, good to go back to work. It's changed my life completely.
If you've been told you might need neck or back surgery, call 1-800-347-BACK now for your no-cost MRI review.
Laser Spine Institute, a less than 1-inch incision, a lifetime of standing tall.
Closed captioning brought to you by Mesobook.com.
We offer a free book on mesothelioma. Call for the free book and receive so much more. Call 1-800-831-3700.
Welcome back. A day after visiting Corpus Christi and Austin, Texas, President Trump there getting off Marine One. He's there at Andrews Air Force Base, soon to get on to Air Force One. He'll be taking off and heading towards Springfield, Missouri. There he will be holding a tax reform rally and speech there. Of course, we'll bring those comments to you live later on. Missouri Senator Roy Blunt also joining him, as well as we understand the First Lady Ivanka Trump soon to be boarding Air Force One there and then on the way to Missouri. And then this weekend, the president is expected to return to the flood zone in Texas and possibly Louisiana. We'll keep you posted. So meantime, it is a storm that never seems to end. Those words I'm quoting now from the mayor of Beaumont, Texas. The city facing the worst tropical storm Harvey right now as it makes another landfall this morning. The catastrophic flooding now expanding to areas east of Houston. Some spots getting 26 inches of rain in 24 hours. These people taking shelter in Port Arthur, Texas. Well, guess what? They were forced to evacuate the shelter after it began filling in with floodwater in the middle of the night. And then in Houston, county officials deliver very grim news to people living near the Addicks and Barker reservoirs. Their homes will remain flooded for several weeks, and they won't be allowed back during that time. CNN's Miguel Marquez is live for us now in the Addicks Reservoir area. And what are you finding, Miguel?
Well, the water is rising here, unfortunately, and it doesn't seem to be stopping anytime soon. The problem is the reservoir itself has flowed over, and they are doing controlled releases, which are keep the water filling into this area. There are thousands of homes in the Addicks Reservoir area. You can see people out there who are walking in, trying to find people and trying to help. The smaller boats, like the personal watercraft, the airboats we're seeing go in and out here. I want to show you a little bit about what's happening here. They have tons of resources. You can see the dump trucks that they can pull in there to pull boats out. There are several, I count 1, 2, 3 personal boats that are in line right now to go in. But the number of rescues has gone down dramatically. At this point, they're talking about getting in there and possibly doing some recovery and trying to get into houses to figure out if there are people in there or if perhaps there are people who have expired in some of those houses in this area. Watch your back there, Ken. There is concern for this huge armada, this navy of individuals across Houston that have come in. You know, overnight there were 3 people who were swept in their boat not too far from where we are right now. 2 of them were missing as of a couple of hours ago. 1 of them clung to a tree, but it is very dangerous. The currents, well, it doesn't look it in this area, but the currents in these areas can be they can rush very, very fast. The airboats have a hard time operating in that. The bigger boats have a hard time operating in this stuff because it's also very, very shallow in many of these areas. So, you know, we were on a boat in the last couple of days. This morning we were on a boat in a different neighborhood, and by the time, within a few hours, it was almost too shallow for that boat to operate, so we had to get it back on its trailer and get it out before it was too late for that. So just you know, the sun is shining. We're seeing a little blue sky here, so that is the big headline for people here, but it is the light at the end of the tunnel, and they clearly have a very, very long way to go. Fred?
It's a long tunnel. All right, Miguel Marquez, thank you so much. All right, a new video just into CNN. A baby plucked from the waters in Texas. More details on that amazing moment when we come right back.
It's the Sears semi-annual blowout event. Save 10 to 70% off on all clothing and shoes, and up to 70% off on outdoor life for him and Simply Styled for her. Plus hot deals on jeans for kids starting at $8.99. Hurry in, sale ends September 4th.
Your insurance company won't replace the full value of your totaled new car. The guy says, you picked the wrong insurance plan. No, I picked the wrong insurance company.
With Liberty Mutual new car replacement, you won't have to worry about replacing your car because you'll get the full value back, including depreciation. Switch and you could save $782 on home and auto insurance. Call 1-844-592-2089 for a free quote today. Liberty stands with you. Liberty Mutual Insurance.
Introducing the brand new South Beach Diet. I'm Jesse James Decker, and if y'all want to know how I stay in shape, I do it with the South Beach Diet.
Lose 5 pounds in your first 2 weeks. 11 million people use the South Beach Diet book to lose weight. Now we've made it foolproof. Order your 4-week program today with fully prepared meals delivered to your door. Breakfast, lunches, dinners, even snacks. It's safe and healthy, easy to follow, and it works.
I've lost 20 pounds on the South Beach Diet.
South Beach is a low-carb, low-sugar, high-protein program that transforms your metabolism and gets your body to burn fat.
I lost 12 pounds on the South Beach Diet.
I lost 24 pounds on the South Beach Diet.
Order our 4-week plan now and receive a week of our all-new South Beach Complete Shakes free. They're packed with 20 grams of protein, low sugar, plus they taste great. Call or go online in the next 2 minutes. We'll even throw in free FedEx shipping. Lose 5 pounds in your first 2 weeks.
Trust me, the South Beach Diet works. Call or click right now.
Call 877-571-WAVE or visit southbeachdiet.com and get 1 week of shakes free.
Scarves off, V-necks on. Gold Bond Neck and Chest Cream helps improve skin's texture, elasticity, and youthful appearance. 97% had firmer looking skin at 2 weeks. Love it. Gold Bond Neck and Chest in the body lotion aisle.
Take one.
Let's talk about when you got braces for the first time.
I did have to wear headgear.
Pieces of metal in your mouth. Popping off rubber bands, I'm breaking off brackets.
Anytime I had to talk, I was like, hey.
And by the end, my teeth moved back again.
Have you ever heard of invisible aligners?
I'd never heard of such a thing, honestly.
At Smile Direct Club, we believe you shouldn't have to wear braces to get a smile you'll love.
We straighten and brighten smiles for 60% less by working directly with top dentists to ship custom invisible aligners direct to you. Each month, we'll send you new aligners that continue to gently straighten your teeth, and our smile guarantee makes getting started risk-free.
Super cool, super cute, looks just like my teeth.
Wow, $95 a month, really?
You never have to go into the dentist's office.
Get my full smile back, feel confident again.
Why would anyone go back to having braces again, especially as an adult? I really wish this was there when I was a kid.
I'm ready to go sign up wherever it is. Is it out there?
This is the untold story of America's crackdown on a Chinese hacker selling U.S. secrets.
Like finding a needle in a haystack.
Declassified. Saturday night at 9 Eastern on CNN.
Hey, Jamie. Steve here wants to know just how advanced Ring's motion detection really is. Well, Stevie boy, let's find out. What's up now, Steve? Build a ring of security around your home today.
You won't see these folks at the post office. They have businesses to run. They have passions to pursue. How do they avoid trips to the post office? Stamps.com. Mail letters, ship packages, all the services of the post office right on your computer. Get a 4-week trial plus $100 in extras, including postage and a digital scale. Go to stamps.com/try and never go to the post office again.
I'm telling you, if he looks over here, he's going to see someone sitting here. He's coming right over here.
All right, every day for 5 days now, unbelievable pictures, stories, video, and look at this. This is a rescue, the New York Air National Guard, the 106th Rescue Wing, and in that basket, a little boy and a baby, just 1 month old, plucked from the waters there, those rising waters in Houston. And you can see that little guy is okay, thankfully, thanks to these Air National Guard rescuers here. This heroic moment. There are so many of these moments many times over throughout South Texas. And now the floodwaters are ravaging Louisiana, the western portions as well along the Texas-Louisiana border. We'll continue to show you extraordinary pictures and images like this and rescues all day long. I'm Frederica Whitfield. Thanks so much for being with me. I'll be back tomorrow, and we'll have much more straight ahead.
Hi, I'm Barry Sloan with NewTek, your business solutions company. Does your business need money? Whether you need $10,000 or $10 million, you can count on NewTek, the nation's largest non-bank government-guaranteed lender. NewTek can help your business expand and grow. With a simple phone interview, we can pre-qualify you in just 48 hours. And with rates as low as 6%, you can see why so many businesses turn to NewTek. To see how easy getting a loan can be, contact NewTek, your business solutions company, today.
How do you chase what you love with moderate to severe rheumatoid arthritis? Do what I did. Ask your doctor about Humira. It's proven to help relieve pain and protect joints from further irreversible damage in many adults. Humira works by targeting and helping to block a specific source of inflammation that contributes to RA symptoms. Humira has been clinically studied for over 20 years.
Humira can lower your ability to fight infections, including tuberculosis. Serious, sometimes fatal infections and cancers, including lymphoma, have happened, as have blood, liver, and nervous system problems, serious allergic reactions, and new or worsening heart failure. Before treatment, get tested for TB. Tell your doctor if you've been to areas where certain fungal infections are common, and if you've had TB. Hepatitis B, are prone to infections, or have flu-like symptoms or sores. Don't start Humira if you have an infection.
Ready for a new chapter? Talk to your rheumatologist about Humira. This is Humira at Work.
Attention Medicare beneficiaries. Many people with Medicare may be able to get extra benefits and don't even know they're available. You may be able to get dental, vision, hearing, and prescription drug coverage included in your plan. The Medicare Coverage Helpline is accepting calls to see if you're eligible to enroll now. You may be able to get extra benefits including dental, vision, and prescription drug coverage.
Hi, I'm Dr. Jason Buchwald. Making sure you go to the doctor and taking all your medications as prescribed can help protect your health. To make it easier, you may now be able to enroll in a Medicare Advantage plan that includes coverage for dental, vision, and prescription drugs. Help protect your health by choosing the right plan for you and get all the benefits you deserve.
Call to see if you may be able to get extra benefits, including dental, vision, and prescription coverage. Don't delay. Call to see if you're eligible to enroll and may be able to get extra benefits now. Call 800-779-8200. That's 800-779-8200.
Good evening. This is Ronald Reagan, President of the United States of America.
The White House has become more and more the stage, a theater.
There is a mood in Washington tonight of a president who is very much on the defensive.
Polls show that a lot of American people just simply don't believe you.
Together, we'll make America great again. Thank you very much.
Presented by Volkswagen.
Hey, I'm Ty Pennington, and I've got a simple question for you. Are you paying too much for your mortgage? Well, you won't know for sure until you check with Guaranteed Rate. You can do it right now. It's that easy. With Guaranteed Rate's digital mortgage, you can choose from today's lowest rates, check your free credit scores, and even get approved online. Anytime, anywhere. All in just minutes, at no cost to you. Lowering your mortgage payment could save you thousands of dollars. Just take a few minutes right now to see how much you could save.
We were going to rent. That was the going-in plan, but the rate was so low at Guaranteed Rate that we ended up buying.
Whether you're buying a new home or refinancing your current home, get a low, low rate from Guaranteed Rate. Visit rate.com right now to find out how much you could save. Call 1-888-557-1555 or visit rate.com.
This is CNN, the most trusted name in news.
This is CNN Breaking News.
Welcome to Inside Politics. I'm John King. Thank you for sharing your day with us. Another difficult day. Harvey back over land, dumping now more unwelcome water along the Texas-Louisiana border. This, look here, is Beaumont, Texas. A big pickup truck, no match for the rising waters.
He drove right into maybe 12 to 20 feet of moving water, and that is where he ended up.
Some bursts of welcome sunshine today in Houston, but the mayor says it is not safe to go home. First responders there still overwhelmed with calls for rescues. More than 30,000 people now in shelters, more than 200,000 already signing up for disaster aid, and expect that number to keep climbing.
The operation right now is very clear. We're still in life-saving, life-sustaining mode. This is going to be an incredibly large disaster for the country. It's going to help us, to reshape some of the ways that we do business. We're going to learn from it and go on.
President Trump already planning a return visit to Texas and promising that state, Louisiana as well, will get everything it needs to recover. 5 days after Harvey first hit, though, no one has a clue just what that ultimate toll will be.
We have had a very collaborative and seamless connection between the federal government, the state of Texas, and the local governments for a remarkable response to, as you pointed out, a record flooding. But also we talked about where we go from here and what needs to be done from here to take care of the challenges that Texans are going to be facing for months and for years to come.
That's the Texas Governor Greg Abbott there this morning on CNN. We are expecting a briefing from the governor any moment now in Austin, Texas. We will take you there when he speaks. You see there the headline from the Houston Chronicle this morning: epic flooding shows no mercy. Houston and Texas state officials mostly terrified by what they still do not know. How many people still need to be saved and how many are already beyond saving. The death toll sadly rising to 12, and it will likely rise again as the day wears on and in the days ahead. FEMA's Director Brock Long won't even estimate how many people have been dislodged from their homes by the storm because that number is constantly rising. On the ground in Texas, grace under pressure, escapes from near-death experiences, and tragedy too difficult to bear, all blending together. Heroism like this. Take a look at this. Captured on Houston's I-10, over a dozen people jumping into floodwaters, linking arms, forming a human rope line to lasso an elderly man being pulled under by the current. The steady chorus from the displaced: we can't go home again. Like Larry Kozer Jr., seen here, sorting through the wreckage of his father's house. His kitchen, now a lagoon. Larry in a kayak. And no shortage of sobering stories like this. Authorities finding a shivering toddler floating in a canal, clinging to the body of his lifeless mother, who died trying to carry her child to safety. Our reporters are out in Texas across the storm zone, covering the impact of Harvey across Texas and Louisiana as well. One area being inundated right now is Beaumont, Texas, just east of Houston. 26 inches of rain in just 24 hours. CNN's Drew Griffin has been watching that city flood. And Drew, props to you for reaching out and helping pull that man from the water, along with your photojournalist Scott Pieszczek and producer Brian Rokas a short time ago. Take us back to that scene and just tell us about the latest there.
Well, the latest is that rainfall continues to come down, adding to the misery that is going on in Beaumont and Jefferson County. 9 inches in 3 hours overnight really inundated the county, according to the Sheriff's Department. And it created these areas where you have roads that are overtaken, and then you can't distinguish the roads from the gullies and the drainage ditches. And that right there is where a man was coming across what he thought was a parking lot when he wound up floating down a ravine. I think we have video of it. We actually saw him do it right before our live shot. Ran over there, tried to help him. We're able to get a rope to him as he swam out of his vehicle and pull him safely ashore. It was a stark reminder of how quickly things can happen, and a stark reminder that the warnings to stay inside, don't drive around in this weather, are real, and they're there for a reason. Just too many people are out trying to test their way through this, and it's creating a bad situation for themselves and for the rescuers. We talked to the Sheriff's Department. They're just trying to keep a list of where people are, trying to stage how they can get rescuers to them. But at the moment, in Jefferson County, in Beaumont, the rain is so hard, the water is rising, that it's really difficult to get to these people, John.
Drew Griffin on the ground for us in Beaumont, and I will echo what Drew just said. Do not underestimate the power of water. Do not underestimate the power of the water. Do not go out if local officials are telling you to sit place. You see some weather pictures there. The sun has finally come out in parts of Houston, but streets are still flooded. Those with boats still going from house to house, looking for people still trapped in their homes days later, days after the rain first started. Brian Todd has been riding along with some of those rescuers, and he joins us now. Brian, tell us about the scene you have there. Obviously, you're right in the middle of a rescue.
That's right, John. They just brought an elderly couple out. I'm going to try to help this gentleman get his legs set in here. You okay, sir? All right. Yeah, there you go. Sorry about this. I've got to narrate while we help these guys out here. This is the Lakeside Forest neighborhood of Houston, west of Houston. If you take a look down here, John, the water, this is chest high in some areas. It's about waist high here, but it's chest high in some areas. And this is a situation where there have been late rising waters. Hi, ma'am. Okay, can you slide over? There you go. All right. So they're just bringing an elderly couple out of this house. We've been with this airboat operator, Mark Malfa, and his partner, Joe, we've just been cruising around this neighborhood. Again, late rising waters here, and the residents here, John, say that it's due to the spillover from the Addicks Reservoir and the Buffalo Bayou flooding late. They say this water came up really only early this morning. It did not come up at the height of the rain. It was obviously a little bit flooded during the height of the storm, but it did not come up really in earnest until this morning. We can show you kind of the coordination that these guys are doing with some of the locals who are directing them where to go.
That's the first time you've been that one direction. We're going the other direction.
This is the kind of coordination, John, that's been taking place all morning. Some local volunteers here, not affiliated with any state, local government, anything, just coming out in their airboats and other boats. These guys are in a wave runner, just coordinating and directing each other where to go, where the most flooded streets are and where there are people in need, John. And they've been doing this all morning.
Good Samaritans out there throughout Texas. Brian, you've been at this all day. Just give us some context. How many people have you personally seen being rescued? And you talk about the late rising waters, reinforcing the view, as the mayor said today, it is not safe to go home, even though the rain has stopped. This situation keeps changing, and the devastating areas keep shifting.
It really does. I mean, this neighborhood wasn't too bad. Everybody we've picked up said this neighborhood wasn't too bad yesterday, but it was just this morning when the spillover... All right, we're about to power up, so we have to kind of get more down here. When the spillover came up, so... We'll
just watch as the boat pulls out. Brian, don't try to talk over the airflow. Just please Please give our thanks to the crew of your boat again for doing the good work they're doing there. You just see Brian Todd. Let's just stay with this picture for a minute. We don't need to hear from Brian. Again, he said this neighborhood wasn't so bad yesterday. The sun is out in Houston, and look at the water there. Another reminder, another reminder. Listen to local officials as this shifts, as those levees could be at risk. Brian Todd leaving that community there. We'll get back in touch with Brian a bit later. It is the slow movement of this storm that's made it so devastating since the initial impact. As you just saw there, finally out of Houston, but now pounding smaller cities to the east. Our meteorologist Chad Myers is in the CNN Weather Center. Chad, Harvey actually made a second landfall today. Where is it now, and where is it heading?
It's in Louisiana. It is east of Beaumont, Port Arthur, which is where all this wraparound or backside rainfall has been all night long. And as you said, 26 inches in 24 hours. That's the same type of event that downtown Houston had on Saturday night into Sunday. So the totals around Houston, the biggest number we can find there, 51.88, and that's not higher because the rain gauge broke when it got that high. So we don't even know what really that number would have been. Everywhere that you see white, there's Houston, here's the Gulf of Mexico. Everywhere that you see white, over 25 inches of rain has fallen, and that's it. It's not just that one spot got 40 or one spot got 30. The entire southeastern part of the state got covered up with 2 feet or more of water. Now it is into parts of Louisiana and eastern Texas, and also a tornado watch is in effect for parts of Louisiana and Mississippi. So it isn't done. We're still going to see rainfall. We're still going to see the potential for severe weather. But finally, John, it's moving. It's moving at 10. Okay, that's better than 2. I like to see 20. Some storms move that fast, but moving at all will start to spread the rain out, which is what we have needed now for 120 hours.
And certainly the people of the Houston area will be grateful for that movement. Chad, you just saw Brian Todd there. It stopped raining in Houston, but we want to emphasize and emphasize and emphasize again, the threat is not over. What do we know about the reservoirs near the city and the risk, the threat?
This is exactly what Brian Todd is in right now. I'm glad you asked. Here is the reservoir called Addicks. Here's the reservoir called Barker. And Brian Todd is in water that wasn't there yesterday because what water was going out the chute where it should go into the Buffalo Bayou is now going around because the level is 109 feet high, the water. That part right there, the weakest link, 108. So the water has to go around, and it's going into those suburbs there, not that far. That should have been protected from a levee that was 108 feet high. And problem is the water was higher than that. This is what it looks like right now, and I want to take your attention onto how many homes. Can you see the subdivisions here? Here's the levee right there. Same projection right there. This is Addicks levee reservoir. And look at all of this congestion of things, businesses, buildings, commercial buildings, residences. Let me take you back to when the reservoir was made. Can you find a building? Not really. This was rangeland. This was farmland west of Houston. Houston had 250,000 people when this was built, now way over a couple of million. And so I'm going to go back to this. Keep your eyes on where we are here, where Brian Todd is getting flooded right there, and back here, which used to be places where the water would soak in. Now take a look at how's it going to soak in if you've paved it all. That's the problem here. And here, right here, look how that is filled in with all of those residences and all of those businesses right there at the Sam Houston Parkway.
One of the many conversations to be had once they get through this, Chad, once they get through this, one of the many conversations about the growth in the air and about the new steps they're going to have to take to protect that area. Obviously, Chad Myers, appreciate that. And a little more context here. The Houston area has been hit by more than 50 inches of rain. No matter where you live in the country, it's hard to fathom just how much rain that is. The New York Times put together this map using some data from NOAA, the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration. Take a look closely if you can. It shows how long it would take for your home on average, depending on where you live in the country, to get the same amount of rain. Follow the color scale. We help you out a little bit there. If you live in one of those light blue areas, such as the Mid-Atlantic region or New England, would take 16 months to get that much rain. If you live in the dry desert areas of the Southwest out there, parts of California, 5 years. 5 years it would take to get that much rain. This has happened in 5 days in Houston and the surrounding areas of Texas. So many survival stories, each more incredible than the last. Joining me now from Dallas, Jeremiah Johnston, who barely made it out of Houston, along with his wife and 5 children. That includes 1-year-old triplets. say they got no answer from 911 or police when they called for help, so they got in their car and hoped for the best. Sir, first and foremost, God bless you and thank you for joining us at this time of stress on your family. You're in a hotel now. I was reading your story earlier in my office. It is just stunning. You were told to stay put. Then you were told to get out fast. Look at that beautiful family there. You're told to get out fast, and we have some security footage of your wife rushing out to the car to load things up. Just take us back to that moment where you realized you thought you were safe in your home and you had to go.
Well, thank you, John. We'll take all the blessings we can get right now. Things escalated Sunday night so quickly. After being told to shelter in place, our family, like so many others, we live in Pecan Grove. And just to put it in context for the audience, that's in Fort Bend County in the Houston area. We live in the Pecan Grove levee. We're 2 miles from the Brazos River. And Sunday night, as we thought things were okay, our county judge came on and said the Brazos River was threatening to go at an 800-year high. They have no models for past 100-year for our levee. So they're saying we're predicting an 800-year high. You need to plan. This is a mandatory evacuation. And by first thing Monday morning, we were grabbing our triplets, John. We had to just we literally had our pajamas on and we jumped in the car, and I had stayed up till about 5 in the morning. So I got about an hour or two of sleep, and we researched evacuation routes, and 5 of those 6 routes were flooded. I was going up I-99 towards I-10 for Houstonians who are watching us, and it was flooded, and I had to turn around and drive contraflow with our hazard lights flashing our brights just to evacuate. It was a terrible experience.
I want to just, for someone who might not understand the term contraflow, you were driving on the wrong side of the highway. You were driving on the wrong side of the highway with your family in the car, including those beautiful children, worried that somebody could come right at you head on.
Absolutely. We were crossing 1093 where if there was a truck coming, we had to stop. And my wife and I, we prayed and we said, what do? We can't go right. We can't go left. And so we just drove and asked God to send his angels to protect us. And God did protect us. And that was the only way out of town. But John, it didn't stop there. I mean, this was what was so remarkable. We took 59 west towards El Campo, ran into a sheriff when we pulled over so our kids could use the bathroom. We're still wearing our pajamas. And the sheriff said, don't go to El Campo. You need to get to 71 and get north of I-10. The National Guard's coming in. They're shutting down towns. And when we drove north of I-10 through towns, John, there were tornadoes that ripped these towns apart. It wasn't until we got to Waco, Texas, off 77, did we find a working gas station. So this is region-wide. There are so many families like ours right now that are stunned. We're trying not to be paralyzed. We're just living moment by moment right now.
And again, I applaud your bravery and your courage, and your wife as well, and your children to go through this. You described this in an account you wrote of like an apocalyptic scene right out of The Walking Dead. Tell me what you mean by that.
Well, I agree with you. I can't say enough about my wife. Audrey is amazing, and just to bring 3 triplets into the world is amazing enough. And we thought we had seen it all, having triplets in a NICU, but driving through these towns where you're looking into people's family rooms and businesses that are ripped apart by tornadoes, there are stray animals. The National Guard, the National Guard is driving in. We went across a bridge on 77 that was being barricaded. We were one of the last vehicles to get through the bridge before they barricaded. I don't know if the bridge was taken. So it was about 4 hours of driving around from the moment that we left our home and the emergency mandatory evacuation to where we got to a point where we felt like we were truly safe.
Tell me how the kids are handling this. I assume the triplets are too young. They probably think this is some kind of great adventure, and you'll have to tell them about this later in life. How about your older children? I'm guessing this caused quite a bit of stress.
For all the multiple families out there, our triplets think it's great. They're normally on a schedule, and they're totally off their schedule right now, John, of sleeping. They think it's fantastic. Wow. But our 8-year-old daughter is really taking it hard. I mean, Lily Faith has asked us to define words for catastrophic, unprecedented. And our son, who's 5, I mean, he's praying every night right here in this little hotel bed behind us. Lord, protect our neighbors, protect our friend, protect our church, Houston's First Baptist. And we're just really worried about our neighbors. I'm a professor at Houston Baptist University. I was just texting our students. They're okay, thank God. Our university's safe, but I'm worried about them. So for all the parents of our students are okay. Our campus is okay.
Jeremiah Johnson, I want to thank you for sharing your story today. Again, I want to wish you the best in the days ahead. And I just want to tell our viewers as they listen to your great story, I wish we had more time in the sense that you talk about the Good Samaritans, including the people at the hotel. When you finally got to the hotel, taking care along the way, it's that kind of Christianity, brotherhood, friendship, and goodwill, I think, that is helping your communities get through these things. And so hopefully it continues in the many months ahead of the challenge. Again, thanks for sharing your story and best wishes to your family. An amazing, remarkable story.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Just ahead, the Texas Governor Greg Abbott about to update the relief effort. We'll be back with Inside Politics, more of our breaking news coverage after a quick break.
Inside Politics, brought to you by Fluad, influenza vaccine adjuvanted.
It's flu season, and at our age, flu can be more serious. Nobody has time for that. It's my time to do the things I love.
But as we age, our immune system can weaken, and traditional flu shots may not work as well for us.
Fluad, designed for adults 65 and older. Unlike other flu shots, Fluad contains an immune-enhancing ingredient that can help provide a strong immune response to the flu. You should not receive Fluad if you have had a severe allergic reaction to any of the ingredients in the vaccine in the past, including egg protein, or severe reaction to a previous influenza vaccine. Tell your healthcare provider if you have ever had Guillain-Barré syndrome, severe muscle weakness after getting a flu shot, or have an allergy to rubber latex. The most common side effects of Fluad are pain or tenderness at the site of injection, muscle aches, headache, and fatigue.
It's time you asked your healthcare professional about Fluad. Designed for adults 65 and older.
Welcome to Smarter Investing. At Betterment, we've created automated investing to help people make better financial decisions and reach their goals. Betterment gives you personalized advice, helps you manage your money, and invest for your personal goals. Go to betterment.com/invest and get up to 1 year managed free.
Taxpayers have rights. Do you know your rights? We do. We're Community Tax. If you owe back taxes, have years of unfiled returns, or have received one of these, you need our help immediately. The IRS is now more aggressive than ever and even using private debt collectors to collect back taxes. With our proprietary Fast Action Response Program, Community Tax can stop wage garnishments, bank levies, and harassment now. Call Community Tax today at 800-444-1026 for a free, no-obligation case analysis. Who's your tax guy?
At SWMW Law, we take pride in developing relationships with every client who is suffering from mesothelioma.
Each client, every family has a unique story that motivates us to help in every way we can.
From the moment we meet until your case is resolved, the same friendly face, the same dedicated partner will be on your team, guiding you and your family every step of the way.
When you put your confidence in us, we will handle all the heavy lifting. You live your life while we fight for your rights.
We will help you obtain compensation as quickly as possible so that you can have the peace of mind, financial security, and justice you deserve.
If you or a loved one has been diagnosed with mesothelioma, contact SWMW Law for a complimentary, no-obligation consultation today.
SWMW, helping you and those you love.
We wanted to sell our home and at the best price, and we needed a real estate agent who could get that done. We're so glad we found HomeLight. HomeLight ranks over 1 million agents based on their actual track record. They crunch the numbers to figure out who is best in your neighborhood, who can sell your home for the most money. HomeLight matched us with Alex. He sold our home in only 2 days for $40,000 over asking. When it's time to sell, the place to go is HomeLight.com.
T-Mobile announces $0 down for all. Now get the whole family the hottest smartphone brands like Samsung Galaxy for $0 down. Plus get 4 unlimited lines for $40 a month, taxes and fees included. More reasons why T-Mobile is America's best unlimited network.
My experience with USAA has been excellent. They always refer to me as Master Sergeant. They really appreciate the military family, and it really shows.
We've got auto insurance, homeowners insurance.
I had an accident with the vehicle. I actually called USAA before we called the police. USAA was very hands-on, very quick, very prompt. I feel like we're being handled as people that actually have a genuine need. We're the Weber family, and we're USAA members for life.
USAA. Get your insurance quote today.
Welcome back. Any moment now, we'll take you live to Austin, Texas. The governor, Greg Abbott, about to give a daily briefing, his update on the Harvey search and rescue efforts, then moving on to the recovery efforts. One of the big questions for the governor as we await what he has to say today is like many officials, just simply don't know the scope of this yet because the rain continues in much of Texas. The search and rescue operations continuing in Houston, even though the rain in most of that area has stopped. We don't know a lot, but we do know who lives in the most devastated area. Let's just take a look. This is Harris County, Houston, and the surrounding county. 42% of the population is Latino. 30% is white, just shy of 20% African American, and 7% of the population in this incredibly diverse area, Asian. These people now, all of them, our neighbors and our friends, worrying and wondering what happens next. Again, looking at the area, the median income in Harris County, about $54,000 a year. The poverty rate, just shy of 17%. How does that compare with national averages? As you see, the median income, a bit below the national average, the poverty rate above the national average. Again, the challenge of helping these people impacted by the demographics of the area. The census data tells us that 55% of the people who live in Harris County own their own homes. There are questions. Will it be partially impacted? Will maybe it escape the flooding? Will it be destroyed? All of the many questions that need to be answered, all one of the reasons the FEMA director says this is a challenge today, tomorrow, and as far as he can see.
The need to volunteer is going to take place over the next couple years, okay? And the need to volunteer is in, let me remind you, 50 counties right now, not just in Houston, but everywhere. So that